podcast from the studios of Premier Sports Fan Center. And tonight, we're in here for a deep, honest, exciting football conversation. I'm your host. My name is Yinka Adebuyi. They call me Doc around here. And today, we got a packed show for you. And we can't wait to dive in. We'll be breaking down Man U, Manchester United, and Chelsea encounter ahead of tomorrow's clash, and digging into what's happening at Chelsea's beyond the match, and then previewing a huge Arsenal versus Man City showdown coming up on the 21st of September. Joining me here tonight are wonderful minds and great analysts. From my left here, immediately here, I have Polo. You're welcome, Polo.
Yeah, good evening, viewers. Good evening, guys. Thanks for having me. So excited to be back here once again. And it's the weekend coming up now. Or we're already at the weekend now. So excited. Club football resumes again.
Right. So, and next to Polo, I have the wonderful Yemite here, right here in the studio.
Yeah. Good evening, the Doc. Good evening, Paul. So yeah, so good to be back. Another few days has passed, and a lot is happening part time in the football world, so we can get right into it.
Right, and to you, our listeners and viewers on YouTube and Facebook, make sure you drop your thoughts in the comment section, and make sure you're part of this action. We're always willing to listen to you, and we need to read from you, and your comments from this week are going to be read next edition of Talk Sport right here on Premier Sports Fan Center. So, diving deep straight into the issues tonight, we're looking at Manchester United versus Chelsea. This is a preview of tomorrow's match in the EPL 2025-2026. Tomorrow night at Old Trafford, Man U take on Chelsea in what could be a defining game for both sides. United have been personally this season, with Amorim still figuring out the best 11 he can keep using, while Chelsea are showing flashes of promises under Enzo Maresca, but remaining inconsistent all along as well. This is a fixture that has produced some iconic moments over the years, from title deciders to high-scoring fixtures and thrillers as well. Tomorrow feels like another chapter waiting to be written in the history of the EPL. Now we're looking at these issues. Both teams are coming into this with something to prove. United needs a result to win to stay in top four conversation, while Chelsea are desperate to string together back-to-back wins to remain contenders and proper EPL rulers. Tactically, this could be a battle between the structure Ten Hag built for Amorim and what Chelsea is aggressively putting together in their pressing game. So I'm going to go from here, taking Paulo first. What do you think? Who do you think between the two of them, Amorim and Enzo, has the better tactical edge in tomorrow's game?
Well, if you look at Manchester United, I'll start with Manchester United because I believe they are the home team. Yeah, so look at Amorim's and the tactics he has been playing since he joined Manchester United. A lot of Manchester United fans have been complaining about the tactics.
Hello, welcome to Fans Reaction on Premier Sports Fan Center, where we take a reaction of fans on various matches. We've just seen that beautiful UEFA Champions League game between Chelsea and Benfica. It was a slim victory for Chelsea over Benfica. 1-0 victor, but they take the 3 points. And I'm here with some Yemite. Yemite, 1-0 victory, a slim victory. I can't see an own goal from Richard Rios in the first half in what looks like a disappointing and hard-earned victory for Chelsea.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it is actually a disappointing game for Chelsea. Chelsea could have done better, with the creating chances, with how they took the game to the opponent and all. So I think they should be doing better, but they'll manage the win, at least the first win in like 3 or 4 matches, and it's actually a morale boosting one for them going into the clash against Liverpool.
One thing that is not looking like a morale booster to me has to be 3 red cards in 4 matches. It's really looking like
morale killing.
Morale killing and looking like a thing of occurrence for Chelsea, getting records.
It keep repeating itself. Lack of discipline, indiscipline, shared indiscipline. Nothing to say again than indiscipline, and you can't find that. It can't be far-fetched from young players. When you see players in the early 20s, there's every tendency for lack of discipline. So that's why there should be a mix of experience and the young lads. But Chelsea has gone their way with young lads. That's
So,
just
how,
what will
so,
happen.
how- so how do you expect this should be managed by the manager?
I think you should call them up. They should heads you rule. There should be precedence. You should set a precedence. People should fall to the axe, and then you see different.
And lastly, we have the big one for Chelsea this weekend against Liverpool, who has just lost to Galatasaray. So, how do you expect that game to pan out on this weekend between
I think
Chelsea and
it's
Liverpool?
advantage Liverpool in all ramification. This is a well Galatasaray structured side where they have Hondogan, Osimhen, and the likes. There's a Mario Cardi in this team. So Liverpool facing a Chelsea, I think they will just bring the annoyance and the anger to Chelsea, and God help Chelsea on that day.
Okay, you can hear that. And God help Chelsea. God has helped them against Benfica, but we got the other side against Liverpool come on Sunday early time. With that's it on our fans' reaction on Premier Sports Fan Center.
Right, thank you. Paulo, so we're looking at which of them is your favorite? What's your favorite or most unforgettable United versus Chelsea moment ever in the history of EPL?
I'm trying to remember the season again. I remember there was this particular match. Chelsea were, I think, 3-0 up, and it eventually ended 3-3. And I couldn't forget that game.
That was in the early 2000s.
I think it was during the Fergu era also, but that game was so very, very tough. Unbelievable one. I was thinking, Chelsea already got all 3 points, but from nowhere up to today, a lot of Chelsea fans are still accusing the referee, which I'm trying to also remember his name, of being biased, towards them, and he made everything possible that Manchester United had to come from 3 goals down to level that game. Definitely try and remember the season and let our viewers.
Right, so you heard it from Polo, you heard it from Yemite, and right now let's zoom in straight in on Chelsea. Since Todd Boehly took over Chelsea, it's been a wild ride, record-breaking spending, managerial changes, and a squad overhaul, and a focus on young talent. But now, under Maresca, the question is whether Chelsea are finally building a long-term identity or still stuck in transition. So now here's the thing here. There's a talent everywhere, and Chelsea's squad is full of talent. Enzo Maresca, Cole Palmer, João Pedro,
Enzo
Fernandez, pardon me, and Cole Palmer, João Pedro, the other Neto, Pedro Neto, and wonderful Estavio. But fans still wonder if there's enough leadership and balance, and Chelsea building a title-winning core or just collecting players. Yeah, Matt, I'm going to go straight at you, and I know you have a lot of affinity for Chelsea here. Are Chelsea finally on the right track with their project under Maresca, or do we still wait to see the Chelsea we want to see?
I think Chelsea is on the right track. One thing that is just missing is that big leadership that since Thiago Silva left has been missing. So, but I think despite the fact that the leadership is not as much as you expect, they are not doing badly. I think, but one thing another I can also mention is you can grow into leadership. You can have guys, you see, guys like Tosin now are beginning to grow more into that role. because he's like almost the oldest guy in the squad. Guys like Reece James too, as the captain, is trying to live up to Enzo Fernandez. So with time, I think that it will come good.
Right, so which player is Chelsea's real leader on the pitch, and do they have enough personalities to compete at the top level? Paulo?
Well, I think it's no other than the captain himself, Reece James, because if you look at the Chelsea squad, I don't think there's anybody that has made more appearance for Chelsea, and as a overall, I think he has more appearance, for as a player for among the old Chelsea, players. So they look up towards him, as a real leader. He's been there since, a very long time with Chelsea. I think he's from even the academy.
Yes.
So no any other person other than him, and probably might look like at also Enzo Fernandez. But I think Enzo Fernandez, is too, is it temperamental, for him to be, the real leader there. But I think it's Reece James.
No,
I don't think
when
Emi
you
agrees with that.
mention temperament, maybe you are talking about Bruno Fernandes.
No,
not
it's Enzo too. Enzo too.
Enzo is not temperamental. If there's one player that is temperamental in Chelsea, it's not Enzo.
Where?
I think that's maybe he's trying to say
No,
Bruno.
but perhaps
I know what I'm
that's his
saying.
own opinion.
I
of
know what I'm
Enzo.
saying about Enzo.
I don't. Okay, for instance, if you check how many yellow card or red card,
It's not just about being yellow card only.
If you
see the way
if you have temper issues in football, you will get a lot of cards.
but not all. But we've seen the likes of Pepe. Playing.
Pepe has a lot of red and yellow cards.
Pepe does not have too many red cards.
He has a lot of
Perhaps
yellow
Which
cards.
because
which
he
Real-
played
even
for Real
Casemiro.
Madrid.
No,
Real Madrid has always been
Even
a
Pepe,
sacred
no,
goat.
no. I don't agree because
Pepe-
Sergio Ramos
Okay.
too was a Madrid player and is the player with the highest number of red cards.
Yeah,
So
let's
I
talk
don't
about
think- I
Pepe.
don't
What about
agree with
Pepe?
that.
Okay,
Pepe too has.
So, guys,
Check.
we're going to run that debate forever if we stay there. Enzo Fernandez is one leader we have in Chelsea after Reece James. And as it is right now, I think Enzo Fernandez commands more playing time than Reece James now. Yemi,
Yeah.
do you think Reece James is dropping in performance? Or
It's
the
not
coach
about-
is just can't find a place to put him all the time?
It's not that. Reece James the coach is trying to manage time, playing time with him, because he has shown to have a lot of injury record history, and also the coach is just trying to be sensitive with managing his minutes. Not really big of a deal.
All right, so guys, you heard it from us right here from the studio for the first time ever. Premier Sports Fans in that says that Reece James is not receding in quality. Reece James is just being managed. The coach is trying to manage. He has several quality players, and then he has to put some on the bench and keep some strong legs for EPL, for Carabao, for FA Cup, and then for Champions League. So it's not about how many of them he plays together. He can field more than 11 players at a time. Chelsea, we've always known, have always been a club associated with ambition, fat success, and ruthless decisions. Some argue that what made them great. Others think it's holding them back right now. Do Chelsea need to be patient with Maresca or to build about building something lasting, or is it the ruthless approach that Ibrahimovic used to apply to Chelsea that is still going to work here?
First off, you are saying Pepe didn't get a card. Pepe got 17 red cards, and is small. And he also got 210 yellow cards.
Okay, so that's a
So
lot.
back
Then
to
let's go to Chelsea.
Back to Chelsea. I don't know where this conversation of Enzo is coming from, because he's current world champion. So if you talk about success, he has been successful already. So he just needs to build on the success he has had. So I don't think that if there's any manager that's close to exit, there is no Enzo Maresca.
So you believe his job is secure right
Secure.
now?
Very
and he
secure.
can as well keep building. Paulo, in 5 years, do you see Chelsea as Premier League title favorite again, or they will still remain in transition in another 5 years?
It depends on how they the transition continue to grow because we've seen with Manchester United, since Sir Alex Ferguson left, they've been in transition from one manager to another. It
That's
depends.
11 years now.
Yeah, it depends. So because if you let Enzo Maresca go, you are bringing in another manager. That means you are starting another phase of transition. So it depends. If Chelsea is still going to stick with Enzo Maresca, I don't think 5 years is too much. He's been there for a year now, and if they are still going to stick with him within the next 2-3 seasons, I think they should be in the conversation for it.
Wow, so you heard it from us right here. So you can put your comments in the comment section. You can put it on YouTube. You can put that on Facebook. Watch us and share. Like, share, subscribe, and tell your friends about Premier Sports Fan Center. Right now, we move straight to the next topic here. Arsenal versus Manchester City preview. Roll the drums. We know Manchester City has won so many EPL in the last 10 years, and Arsenal is yet to win so many of them, or perhaps one. Anyway, Sunday's blockbuster sees Arsenal hosting Manchester City, a match that could have serious implications. And Arsenal are looking sharp this season, with Arsenal's Arteta's maturing and adding depth, while City are dealing with a growing list of injury. But they remain contentious, in the competition, because under Guardiola, you can't predict. Anything can happen. This fixture has become the new title rivalry over the past 2 seasons, and we've seen Arsenal, City deciding where the League Cup goes. Arsenal's new midfield looks dominant, and their defense has been solid. City, in the meantime, have shown vulnerability with injuries, and key players like John Stone, Al Nouri, Ryan Cherky, and now Omar Mamouche are all out based on injury. Can Arsenal finally turn their good performances against City into the current consistent wins that they need? Now, I'm going to go from Paul here. Does Arsenal now have the mental edge over City, or is Pep still going to use his tactical abilities over Arsenal?
Well, I think we have the mental edge now over Man City, starting from last season. I think it's in about 2 seasons or more now. Manchester City have failed to defeat us, and last season was the first time I think we took all. No, not last season. Last 2 seasons we won them at the Emirates, and last season also we also defeated them at the Emirates. So I expect Arsenal to do it, 3 in a row now. So, but if you ask me overall, I think Arsenal have what it takes now to defeat this Manchester City.
Right. So, Yamite, who is the one player that could decide this clash? Haaland, Odegaard, or someone else? Saka is out.
Yeah,
But we have what's his name? We have Noni. We have the new striker from Sporting. We have Gyökeres. We have Eze. We have all this. So who's likely going to decide this game?
I think number one is the 2 strikers. They both have solid points made, Gyökeres and Haaland. Then the supply cast, depending on who supplies the ball. And you can see that Phil Foden is gradually going into the Phil Foden that led Man City to their last league title that they won. So I think that, you can talk about Erling Haaland, Gyökeres, Phil Foden, then you have to mention Iberichi.
Right, so you need to put those guys in contention, and you need to get them on your head. You need to actually expect and look forward to seeing these guys perform their magic on that day. September 21 is the date. Arsenal is taking on City, and both are fighting for the Premiership. And we move on. The game could be a decider in disguise. Arsenal and City have replaced Liverpool versus City as the league's most tactical rivalry. Fans love the chess game between Arteta and Pep, the student and the master. And the issue here is this: as Arsenal versus City officially become the Premier League's defining title rivalry.
Well, I don't think so. I think if you look at Manchester City, it's a team that everybody wants to beat. Everybody wants to beat them, because of how they've, been handling things for the past 3, 4, 5 seasons. But if you ask me, I think for Arsenal, as an Arsenal fan also, I think Liverpool should be the deciding factor between for us as an Arsenal fan, because I look at Manchester City now. I don't think they are in a position to really delay our chances of winning, the league. But if you ask me about Liverpool, I think Liverpool is the main deal for us.
Right. So, yeah, I want you to answer this pretty critically, and from your angle and experience of the EPL, do you think, based on Arsenal's history, what do you think a win here could mean psychologically for Arsenal players concerning their statement to leave the EPL after how many years? 24.
No, 22.
Yeah.
First
22 years.
I think
This
2 seasons ago, Arsenal broke out of that Guardiola menace, psychological thing that they went through, losing back to back to Guardiola for some time. And this Arsenal has come of age.
Okay.
You can say last season they were brutal against City, which was massive for their confidence. But when you look at where Arsenal was and where they are right now, I think now Arteta has no excuse if he doesn't win the league this season. But I don't envy him because teams too have grown. I don't think it's Man City that is their big challenger this season. I think it's Liverpool, because the first choice this season has to be Liverpool, because those guys, if you see the way they have taken the games they've taken, as a champion you just have to win. Anyhow, you just have to find a way out. And they still, even to Champions League, you saw how the Atletico came back and they still found a way out. So with that mentality, it's very difficult to stop them. So I don't think Arsenal Man City is the title decider any longer. It is now between Liverpool and Arsenal. And it's now advantage Liverpool because Liverpool has won the first leg.
Right, so advantage Liverpool. Liverpool got a first leg winner at the 80th minute by that wonderful, beautiful, unbelievable goal by Szoboszlai. It was a free kick that went to the record that week. I think it was the goal of the week. And that was a fantastic winner. And just one man could just decide the game. Now we're going into a weekend full of surprises, full of drama, filled with giants. Chelsea is going to face United. United is trying to creep out of their coven and come and show their face, and Chelsea's right there at the top. They just came back from the exploits from the World Club Cup, bearing the cup for the first time and carrying it on their chest boldly. How proud are you about that? Mate?
When you support a club,
I saw the smile on your face. It was like, I just gave you ice cream.
when you support a club that has won it all, a club that there's no trophy that you can now be so intimidating to them with, and like, oh, what's this? We've won this before.
Can
what's
you
that?
imagine? See pride.
The most important part now is that there's no other team that has won the Club World Cup, and there's no other team that will wear that badge for 4 years. Mind you, they are now talking to FIFA to make it 2 years. So that will mean that it is only Chelsea that will wear that badge for 4 years, which no other team will do.
Can you imagine? Chelsea setting records and breaking their own records.
That's what we do.
So you're so proud and you're feeling like ice here, like you're glazing on ice.
Yeah, that's
cloud
how,
7.
it's a Chelsea feeling. We are not, Chelsea is not mediocre like some teams that used to defend their mediocrity. I don't want to mention the red side of London, but not London to be precise, but they used to defend their mediocrity a lot. But we go brutal even on our own players when they don't do well. Now the coaches, no time. But when the mentality produce the right result, then you just have to change.
So Chelsea fans they actually have starch on their shoulders.
You can't blame them.
They're moving around like they're riding on horses and gliding on ice as we speak. Paulo, how do you fancy the chances of Arsenal this weekend in the wrap up?
Well, I believe it's a big game between like you said, the teacher and the student. And for us now, a lot of advantage will be on our side because we'll be playing at home also. And the last 2 meetings in the league has gone in at the Emirates there has gone in favor of Arsenal. And you look at how Arsenal have been playing this season, though we've not been at our very best this season so far, but you could see there's progress. And one thing that has been going for Arsenal this season is the defensive part of Arsenal. It's for you to get a goal against Arsenal, it's always very difficult. And the only goal Arsenal have considered this season is that outrageous free kick from Domis Szoboszlai. I think if you look at it overall, I think Arsenal has all it takes, and I'm very confident that we're definitely going to win.
So you fancy your chances of getting 3 points at the Emirates against City. You heard it there, and that's a wrap for you guys for tonight's Talk Sport podcast. We previewed Manchester United versus Chelsea and dug straight into Chelsea's identity crisis, breaking down the massive Arsenal versus Man City clash. We also, to every one of us watching on YouTube or Facebook, we want your thoughts. Who wins at Old Trafford tomorrow? Put that in the comment section. Be part of the show. We're going to read that in our next week's episode. Can Chelsea get back to being title contenders? Put it down there. Whatever you believe, put it in the comment section. Engage with us, interact with us. And is this finally the season Arsenal can dethrone City or Liverpool and get enthroned as the EPL kings? Drop your comments, drop your answers, all in the comment section. Like the video if you enjoyed the discussion, and subscribe so you don't miss out our post-match breakdown. From me right here, my name again is Yinka Debuyi. They call me Doki around here. And Paulo.
Yeah, so like I said at the beginning, so excited that we are the weekend now, and the fixtures are coming right from in lunchtime tomorrow. We'll be seeing the Merseyside derby. There are a lot of derbies coming up over the weekend, so can't wait for it to get started.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, so good to be on the show today again, and it has been an exciting edition. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Thank you for tuning in. This is Talk Sport podcast once more from Premier Sports Fan Center, where football lives. And please keep loving the game of football. Enjoy your weekend. Bye for now.
Oh, and another goal for Super Eagles.
Right now, we move straight to the next topic here. Arsenal versus Manchester City preview. Roll the drums. We know Manchester City has won so many EPL in the last 10 years. And Arsenal is yet to win so many of them. Or perhaps one. Anyway, Sunday's blockbuster sees Arsenal hosting Manchester City. A match that could have serious implications. And Arsenal are looking sharp this season, with Arsenal's Arteta's maturing and adding depth, while City are dealing with a growing list of injury. But they remain contentious, in the competition, because under Guardiola, you can't predict. Anything can happen. This fixture has become the new title rivalry over the past 2 seasons, and we've seen Arsenal, City deciding where the League Cup goes. Arsenal's new midfield looks dominant, and their defense.
Don't forget to subscribe. Remember to hit that subscription button. Oh, and another goal for Super Eagles. This is Premier Sports Center. Anywhere. Don't forget to subscribe. Remember to hit that subscription button. Goal for Super Eagles. This is Premier Sports Center. Anywhere. Don't forget to subscribe. Remember to hit that subscription button. Oh, and another goal for Super Eagles. This is Premier Sports Center. Anywhere. forget to subscribe. Remember to hit that subscription button.
Discuss all that.
At the future of the game, and from wonder kids to blockbuster signings, we got you covered. Welcome to Premier Sports Fan Center. My name is Doc Yinka Adegbuyi, and right now at the studio we're going to be talking sport tonight. The program is Talk Sport for this edition, and with me tonight to divulge and dissect these topics, I have the big man Polowski, the huge Arsenal fan.
Good evening, viewers, and so excited to be back here to discuss all that's gone on in the last 48 hours in the world of football. Recently, the transfer window just shut down, and over the weekend, we saw a lot of matches. Though, as an Arsenal fan, not happy we couldn't take all 3 points, but I hope going forward we get those 3 points.
Right, so that's it from Polo. You heard him. He's ardent Arsenal fan, and is here with us tonight on Talk Sport for this edition. Once again, I want to let you know that we're going diving straight into today's subject. We're looking at emerging talents. We're looking at the rise of left foot wingers and footballers in particular. The days of Lionel Messi, Risto Stoichkov, and the likes of Arjen Robben is virtually dusking or getting over. As it is right now, we have some emerging talent with a left foot, and we're going to go right into them. We're going to look at them, and we're going to try and dissect some of these super players that the god of football has given us. We're looking at the new generation of left wingers dominating football right now. And if I mention left wingers and left-footed footballers, there's no way I won't mention Lamine Yamal, the rising 18-year-old Barca superstar. And then we have to talk about Bukayo Saka, the wonderful Gunners Arsenal kid who has become a mature man in the game. And we also have the likes of Mohamed Salah, who is a super human being. He has so much accolades in his store and so much silverware that the young man has gotten with his left foot. So today we're entering the golden era for the left foot wingers. How do players with left foot, how do you think they fare in football? You can put that in our comment section. You can join us in this conversation. You can put your thoughts right there, or you can put a call through to us on the line. Just put it there on the YouTube page or Facebook page. So how do these players change the tactical approach of their teams? This question, Paulo, I'm going to ask you the first question. Which left foot winger excites you most right now?
Well, at the moment, you can't look beyond the man from Spain, the Barcelona guy. Talking about Lamine Yamal, is probably one of the best, left winger right now in the world, and still very young. And also, there's a boy coming up now. He's also a left winger at Arsenal. They call him Max Stoneman. He's very young, and still under 16 years. So anytime I watch him, I'm always feeling excited. But at the moment, you can't take anything away from the man that has been there for the past 2-3 seasons now. Talking about Lamine Yamal, he's a very exciting player, and with time, I think he can do more than he has already done with the Barcelona football club and also the Spanish national team.
Wow, so you guys, you heard it from Paulo. Right now, for him, the most exciting left winger is Lamine Yamal, the 18-year-old. He just turned 18 years a couple of months ago. And before he
earlier fixture, and Newcastle are also back to winning ways after losing the first game against Barcelona. Today they got a 4-0 victory over Union St. Gallen away from home. So interesting matches. We saw a lot of goals yesterday in the UEFA Champions League. It's left to see tonight if it's going to also match what we actually got yesterday in the UEFA Champions League. My name is Adia Michelle, and I'll be your host for tonight's watch along. And our focus match is that game between Arsenal and Olympiacos and Barcelona against PSG. So we'll be giving feeds of every match is going on around Europe. I'm not alone in the studio, as I also have with me Arsenal faithful Paulo, who is also donning Nigerian jersey. Happy Independence Day to all Nigerians across the world. Good evening, Paulo.
Yeah, good evening. Thanks for having me. So excited to be back here again, and as an Arsenal fan, I can't wait to see gather all 3 points to go top. Probably 3 plus 3 that's 6. So
yeah, winning the Champions League last season showed us that it's not about who actually topped from the beginning that ended up winning. We saw how PSG struggled to make it through to the round of 16, and from the round of 16, yes, it became another ball game. But before we go straight into tonight's activities, let's touch some of the games we saw yesterday.
Yeah.
Galatasaray surprisingly getting a victory over Liverpool, 1-0. Victor Osimhen from the spots.
yeah, nice one for Galatasaray because their first match against Eintracht Frankfurt, they lost woefully in that game. I think they considered about 5, in that game. And one would have expected Liverpool to roll over them so easily, but they give a good account of themselves, and they fought and got the goal very early through Victor Osimhen, the penalty, and Liverpool couldn't break them down, couldn't go get the equalizer. They had the penalty overturned also, but overall, good one for Napoli and Galatasaray and Victor Osimhen. The reason why he still remains in Europe is because he wants to play in the biggest competition, and he delivered yesterday. So, but for Liverpool, I think there's a little bit of concern from the way the team have been playing, because they've lost back-to-back games now. And looking at their next game also is a very tricky one.
Okay, we also saw Chelsea went from losing 3 games on the bounce to winning one yesterday, but still they got a red card, and it's their talisman, what's it called, João Pedro. João Pedro, yes, who got the red card yesterday. He'll be missing the next game against Ajax, but a lot of red cards for Chelsea these days.
Well, I think we'll start naming them the Red Card FC now, because it's looking like it happened to Arsenal last season also. At the beginning of the season, I could remember after our first 5-6 matches, I think we picked up about 3 or more red card also. And I think for a team, if you allow that kind of mentality to to start fostering, you start picking up that red card. But they need to find a way to stop picking up red card. And good one for them, at least they've won their first match now since coming back into the Champions League. And like you said, the next game, yes, I don't think that should be a too difficult game for them not to also win. Ooh.
Okay, we have a great game in this one between Arsenal and Olympiacos. Is Arsenal coming very close through Martinelli, but the Brazilian couldn't pull that into the back of the net. Arsenal playing from the left of our screens, and we also have Olympiacos from the right of our screens. Arsenal playing in their own attire, that is the red top and the white short, while Olympiacos are playing in what looks like a grey jersey, or grey jersey is what Olympiacos are playing in tonight. And Arsenal showing flashes as early as the second minute of this game that they are not yet to play. So let's see what the Gunners bring to the party against Olympiacos in this encounter. There's no Bukayo Saka in the starting 11 for Arsenal. You are an Arsenal fan, and how comfortable are you with this Gunners starting 11?
Well, I feel very comfortable looking at the opposition, but though it's not bad opposition anymore, because Olympiacos has always been a team that gives Arsenal a lot of problems. The last time we played, they actually defeated us. But for Mokatata resting Bukayo Saka in this game, it means it shows the level of squad depth Arsenal have got this season.
Okay, there's no Bukayo Saka, there's no problem for the Gunners tonight. And also don't forget that Noni Madueke is out injured, I think, for about 8 weeks for the Gunners. They'll be without their man who they got from Chelsea. Early stages of this game is still 0-0, but it's Arsenal who are looking the better side in this encounter. And we have 4 minutes gone in that encounter. It's a free kick. We can also see Mikel Arteta on our screens here. He just has one trophy to showcase as a Gunners boss, and this season he wants to put his hands on as much as possible trophies he can get for the Gunners. A free kick for Arsenal right there, and it's the captain Martin Odegaard who is back in the starting 11 and donning the captain armband for the Gunners. We're standing on this early free kick against Olympiacos. What will the Gunners make out of that in the 4th minute? Make Odegaard into the box there. But there was no Arsenal player who could actually direct that across there, the goalkeeper. But still Arsenal in possession of the ball, and he chose to reset, sends it back into the midfield, finds Martin Odegaard. Martin Odegaard with a long splash down pass there, but Trossard couldn't get onto that, and it rolls out for a goal kick up to Olympiacos. And the way it started looking like a one-way battle already in this encounter.
Yeah, you look at Arsenal, how they wants to quickly get the goal and press, and you could see from looking at that replay again from that Martinelli miss. I think this should be
this should have been a goal. This looks more like a free header for Martinelli, honestly, and you expect him to be doing better. He just not denied Eberechi is a beautiful assist for him there in that moment.
Yeah, is that Eberechi? We just have to come. I think that should be Lewis
Kelly.
Lewis Kelly, because I think he's starting from the bench in this game. We'll just have to confirm. Yeah, I think he's starting from the bench. That should be Lewis Kelly.
All right, I'm going on into the 5th minute, and it's Olympiacos who are trying to trade 1 or 2 passes of their own, but fortunately lost the possession. Arsenal will look to attack again as Martin Odegaard on the ball there. He has been everywhere in the middle of the park for the Gunners, and still Arsenal in possession. What they make out of this? Martinelli on the ball there, holds onto it and dribbles through his way and finds Martin Odegaard. Odegaard switches on wing there, sends it straight onto the part of his Arsenal teammate, and still Arsenal who are dancing close to the Olympiacos box and making everything look possible, and that they can get on the first goal under 10 minutes. Still no goal in all centers. PSV actually put one into the back of the net, but the VAR actually chucked that off of PSV, so there's no goal against Leverkusen at the 8th minute of this encounter. Arsenal in possession, looking to trade one against Olympiacos. What would the Gunners make out of that? Sends it to the cross as we are going straight into the 7th minute. Olympiacos will do a lot of defending in the opening 10 minutes of this encounter. It has been Arsenal going everywhere. And how many goals do you think Arsenal will be scoring in this game? Because it looks like Olympiacos are just yet to make the numbers against the Gunners.
It looks like that, but football is, at times looks very tricky. We saw what happened over the weekend against Newcastle. Arsenal were dominating in the early stages from nowhere. Newcastle got the first goal, but I expect Arsenal to get all 3 points in this game and secure a clean sheet, at least 3 goals.
Okay, let's see if that is possible as Arsenal danced forward again, looks to attack against Olympiacos, and they're getting arriving in the box as soon as possible. Yeah, it's Martin Odegaard on the ball. Martinelli on the ball rather, and it rather finds it back into the spot of his teammate. And yes, back to Martinelli. Martinelli holds onto the ball, approaches on the Olympiacos box, but just returning back into the part of his Arsenal teammates. Still Arsenal in possession of the ball, and they're making it hard for Olympiacos to get onto the ball. Finally, the goalkeeper, Zolaskis, will get onto that for the Olympiacos team. Looking at the starting 11 for the Gunners, it starts with their first choice goalkeeper, David Raya in goal post, and the defense, it looks more like Ben White, William Saliba, and Gabriel continue in there as the preferred centre back, and we have Martin Lewis Kelly at the left back. A midfield 3 of the captain Martin Odegaard, Zubimendi, and Merino. While up front it's Leonardo Trossard, Victor Gyökeres, and also Gabriel Martinelli. On the side of Olympiacos, they have the goalkeeper Zolaskic, and the defense we have Costinha, the captain Restos, and also Pirola, who is pairing with Restos at the heart of the defense. We also have Ortega. In midfield 2 on the base we have Garcia and Eze. While up front we have Martins, Chiquinho, and also Podence. Why it's a Loma striker Kabi for Olympiacos tonight. Looking at the Gunner starting 11, there's no the likes of Bukayo Saka, like we rightly said. Then there's no Eberechi is starting today, and there's also not Declan Rice starting for the Gunners, and also Calefori. It's not typical as not strong starting 11.
I think this is still a strong starting 11 that can win you game any day. But the difference is that there are a lot of players now. The squad depth. That is why look at some of those names you've mentioned. There, the names have consistently started games for us now this season. And this is opportunity for Mikel Arteta to rotate the team. I was even expecting David Raya to sit out this one, but Mikel Arteta decided to go with him in this game. So I think it's still a stronger 11 for us.
It's 9 minutes gone in various centers and still no goal to report in the UEFA Champions League. This time yesterday we started seeing goals, coming as much as possible. Yes, Olympiacos trying to get into the Arsenal box, but fortunately they had to just break that out, and it's a free kick to the Gunners in that moment. And looking at the biggest match tonight, the one between Barcelona and PSG, starting in goal post is Chelsea, who came in for Juan Garcia, who is out injured for Barcelona. In defense for four of Jules Koundé, Eric Garcia, we have Kubasi and also Gerard Martin. In midfield is the preferred Frank de Jong, who is the standing captain, and there's also Pedro Pierre with him. Lamine Yamal is back into the Barcelona starting 11 after being out with a bit of injury. There's also Dani Olmo and Marcus Rashford, while a Loma striker Ferran Torres start for Barcelona tonight. For PSG, we have the goalkeeper Chevalier, and the defenders Nuno Mendes will have the day against Tormento, talking about Lamine Yamal. He knows how to handle Lamine Yamal very well. And the centre-back pairing of Zabenyi and Pacho, while it's Hakimi, who is the standing captain, as the right back. It is the midfield trio of Fabian Rios, Vitinha, and Zeri Emery. While up front we have Bakola, Muyulu, and Mubaye. Looking at PSG starting 11 years without the current Ballon d'Or winner, Ousmane Dembele. Not just Ousmane Dembele alone, Kvaratskhelia is out injured, the way is out injured. And it's not looking, it's actually not looking like a strong PSG side will have expected against this Barcelona side.
Yeah, I think it's a weakened PSG side. You got to look at the like you said, the Ballon d'Or winner is not there. In fact, there are three attacking players. Talking about Ousmane Dembele,
Kvaratskhelia,
and Due are all missing in this game. So I think it's an opportunity for Barcelona to get one over this PSG, but I don't think it's going to be an easy game for Barcelona tonight also.
Okay, gradually Olympiacos are coming into this encounter, and they hold on to the ball, get it straight to the part of Martins, but Martins couldn't get us and lost possession. Arsenal will regain possession, looks to attack against Olympiacos, but the defender there came to the rescue of his team and back in possession to Arsenal. 11 minutes gone in this encounter. I've still no goal to report in that one between Arsenal and Olympiacos, and not just that, in all various centers in Europe, there's still no goal in the early stages. And it looks like, looking at the matchup tonight, it seems out they are really harder than what we had yesterday.
I don't think it's harder. It's always like that. You look at every match days in the Champions League. Probably the first day you might not see good, and the second day you start seeing goals. Then at times the reverse is the case. You might be surprised that we might even get more goals combined, than what we saw yesterday. But they might start coming in late.
Okay, let's see if it comes later. Eli Pirola on the ball there, takes a long one, tries to play in Kabi in the art of just very chance for Olympiacos with a beautiful goal. Kabi with a header, but straight into the hands of David Raya, the Gunners goalkeeper. Short watching is certain that Arsenal needs to be careful about this man playing up front for Olympiacos. Talking about Hayoub El Kabi in this encounter. Arsenal parking possession, they don't have to take their eyes off it. Might just be a chance for the Gunners to break through. Might just be with this beautiful goal, and that should be the first goal for the Gunners and into the back of the net. Hope that will be an offside, but it's a well-deserved goal for Arsenal, and it's Gabriel Martinelli who has given us the first goal tonight. And you can see what it means to the Gunners. And Arsenal 1, Olympiacos 0 at the 12th minute. The defense they'll ask themselves the question: how did they allow the Arsenal guys to break through the defense that way?
But I think the pass from probably Martin Odegaard, was the killer there, and I don't think the pass was actually meant for Martinelli. I think that should be for the striker Victor Gyökeres. You look at the pass again, but Martinelli was very, very unfortunate to have
It took a wicked
deflection
of the goalkeeper there, and unfortunately that goes into the back of the net. And Gyökeres with good hold up play there for the Gunners, and Martinelli had just on the simplest of tasks to do, which is just putting that into the back of the net. Look at the striker instinct from the Arsenal striker Victor Gyökeres. I'm very sure the Olympiacos goalkeeper talking about Zolaski will actually be feeling undone there, that how they allowed that to go through him. But Arsenal just celebrate and roll out as they got their first goal right there in the 12th minute. It might be a first of many goals tonight, because I don't really want to count how many goals the Gunners might be able to score in this encounter. We're just straight into the 13th minute, and it's 1-0 in that one Arsenal lead. And I can see, you are actually comfortable.
Honestly, I don't expect any upset in this game, though it's football. But I think we should be beating Olympiacos comfortably, and I think the goal have started coming in. So I expect us now to double the lead, at least to release pressure before the end of this first half.
Okay, Arsenal we attack against Olympiacos one more time. Yeah, Leonard throws out of the ball there, sends a long one into the box there, but evaded all the Arsenal players in the box. Rolls out wide into the part of Ben White, if I'm not mistaken. Easily caught out there by the Olympiacos team. And might just be a gift from Arsenal to Olympiacos. Still Olympiacos in possession. Looks to attack from the middle of the park. Is Chiquinho on the ball there. But just returning back into the defense where he finds Ortega. Ortega holds onto the ball, returns it back and finds a Pirola. And Pirola will come forward with the ball and finds the captain, Restos with the ball there for Olympiacos. Restos also to it and returns it back to Pirola. Pirola holds onto the ball for Olympiacos. Switches forward but returns it back to the captain. Restos will go forward and finds his winger where he drops it for Martins. Martins on the ball there, cuts inward with the ball. What will he make out of that? But just returning back into the middle of the park where he finds Garcia. Garcia goes out wide and finds Ortega. Ortega returns it into the center of the midfield there. He finds Garcia, and Garcia switches pull wing there and sends this back into the part of Costilla. Costilla returns it into the heart of the defense and finds himself back into the Olympiacos box, and where he finds the Restos, the captain, and Restos returns it back to the goalkeeper Zolaskic, and Zolaskic will come forward with the ball, sends a long one, tries to play in the part of Kabi, but that's only getting straight to Kabi as Arsenal break play and looks to attack against Olympiacos. Martin Skelly on the ball there as Lewis Skelly rather drops it to Gabriel. Gabriel finds the centre back Pierre Saliba, and Saliba is coming forward with the ball there for Arsenal, and it looks out to create a one into the middle of the park where he finds Zubimendi, and Zubimendi back to Saliba, and Saliba returns it to the goalkeeper David Raya. Raya with a long one, but that evaded all the Arsenal players, and Olympiacos will break out, but Arsenal wins possession, loses possession immediately back to Olympiacos, and it's looking more like a police ball at this moment from Olympiacos. They're looking to attack, but that should be a foul, yes, and it's an infringement on Ben White, and it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal right there in the 16th minute of this counter. With 16 minutes gone, and also Manchester City has gotten one against AS Monaco. Who else than Erling Haaland getting that goal in the 15th minute?
Yeah, good one for Manchester City. I think I could remember the days what the Monaco were giving Manchester City a lot of troubles during the days of Bernardo Silva, Kylian Mbappe at City. I mean at Monaco then. But you look at this Monaco side now; they are not the strongest of team coming from the French league. But you expect Manchester City to get the win, and Erling Haaland also getting the goal.
Okay, Arsenal breaking out for a second goal. Will this be the opportunity for the Gunners? Second goal, still Arsenal in possession. A long one into the box there. But there's no Arsenal player to put a touch onto that. We also have Villarreal putting one into the back of the net against Juventus. What happens to be an upset in the early stages of this encounter.
Upset?
Villarreal.
I don't think it's upset. I to be honest, I predicted Villarreal to defeat Juventus, so I won't be surprised. It's not an upset. The only thing is that Villarreal has been a while. They've been in the Champions League, but I don't think that should be an upset.
Okay, going to the starting 11 in that game between AS Monaco and Manchester City. Korn is the goalkeeper for Monaco, a back three of the captain Keria. We also have Eric Dia and also Salisu making the back three for AS Roma. In the middle of the park where we have Vedersen, Koulibaly, Tese and Deate, and we also have Barcelona's lonely player. Ansu Fati starting in this encounter. There's also Akilochi starting for Monaco, and the Loma striker is Balogun, the former Arsenal prodigy. For Manchester City, we have Donnarumma as the goalkeeper, Michael O'Reilly, Ruben Diaz, and also John Stones as the back four in that encounter. Is a low man in the heart of the midfield, where we have Rodri. Up front is Doku, Phil Foden, Reginald, and also Bernardo Silva, the captain. And the low man striker is the man who has gotten Manchester City their first goal in that encounter, Erling Haaland. So the goals are fast coming in right now. Villarreal 1, Juventus 0. That goal was scored by Georges Mikatazi, the Georgian international, if I'm not mistaken there. We also have the equalizer in that one, as AS Roma has put one back in that game against Manchester City. Manchester City led lead only lasted. Monaco, sorry, rather. Yes, Monaco has equalized right there in the 18th minute through Jordan Tazi. What a beautiful game we are having at hand in that one. Still no goal in that one between Barcelona and PSG, Leverkusen and PSV, and also Dortmund against Atletico Bilbao. Napoli against Sporting Lisbon is also 0-0 at the 20th minute. And at the 19th minute, approaching the 20th minute, it's Arsenal who are currently leading at home at the Emirates Stadium against Olympiacos. We've seen the first 20 minutes in this encounter, and it looks like, yes, Arsenal are surely going to get this.
Yeah, it looks very much like that, because you wonder, how long what they call them now, Olympiacos will keep Arsenal from scoring the second goal in this game, because it's been Arsenal all from start, and attacking them from left to right, and making the defense work very hard. But they themselves, they've had some few moment, talking about making.
Yeah, I just beat the chance. What a big save there from David Raya. And that is what happens when you have a world-class goalkeeper. Beautiful shot there from Olympiacos. But fortunately, Raya with a sharp reflex just at the end of that. Look at that, some beautiful one there from Podence. And Podence would have a feeling that should be going into the back of the net. And that is a worthy save from David Raya.
Honestly, I'm speechless, making that save, because that ball was very, very fast coming, to him, and he was able to, keep that away. And I think Arsenal should not be too over relaxed, because thinking the way they've been, dominating. Look at the cross coming in. Nobody was marking Podence. Podence, is a very, very trickish player, and I think Arsenal and Mikel Arteta should have known him right from his days from Wolf. Yeah,
so, if there's a player who knows the AP of better, it has to be Daniel Podence, the former Wolverhampton player and the Portuguese. Beautiful piece of skill from him. He's a skillful player on his day, and he can alt anything. And he has shown flashes of what he can bring into this encounter against the Gunners. Still a corner kick to Olympiacos. Podence standing on this and takes a short one, and Olympiacos sends out into the box. Corner kick to score against Arsenal is always a hard one, because they themselves are the masters of scoring from corner kicks, and Arsenal went out on the counter, and I would have expected Martinelli to do better there. There was no need for him to put that on the run. Unfortunately, he lost on the ball there. Kabi will get hold of that and drops it straight into the path of Gerard Martin, and Martin returns it into the heart of the midfield to Coutinho, and Coutinho Strada, and returns it back into the defense, where he finds the midfield Pierre right there. And what we then make out of that, and spotting the jersey number 22, we have it on Chikio there. Chikio drops it straight into the path of the captain, Restos, and Restos coming forward and finds his teammate. Podence called into action there, but Podence couldn't hold on to that. Arsenal regains possession, and should be a throw given by the referee. Podence is really going to be a big problem for the Gunners tonight.
Yeah, and I think the team should find a way to keep him quiet. He's very tricky, not easy to mark, and I expect him to want to prove a good account of himself in this game.
Okay, we have the first goal in that game between Barcelona and PSG, and it's Barcelona who has put one into the back. We say one-sided affair game against Newcastle because they dominated Newcastle for the better part of the game.
I think Newcastle dominated starting from the game, but Barcelona were getting the goals, but look at how Newcastle played that day. They were very, very unfortunate not to have gotten at least 1, 2, 3 goals in the first 10 minutes of that game.
Okay, as Arsenal looking to get the second goal, the captain on the ball there, Martin Odegaard. What will he make out of that? Just to returns it into the part of his teammates. As Olympiacos who are currently playing with fire at the back right there. So just some three centers are yet to see a goal in this encounter in the opening 25 minutes of tonight's fixtures. Leverkusen against PSV is still 0-0. Dortmund against Atletico Bilbao is still 0-0. And Napoli against Sporting Lisbon, another interesting game. Looking at the mentality, the philosophy of these two managers in this encounter. Well, I'll actually be expecting a lot of goals, but it seems that Napoli are currently missing the service of their talisman, Romelu Lukaku, and the striker who they currently depend on. Talking about Højlund, I don't think he has really changed from the Højlund we saw at Manchester United.
But he got the goal. He scored in his debut for Monaco, and though he hasn't really changed, but I think he's getting playing time now compared to his last days at Manchester United, where he wasn't playing, and the morale and the confidence was not there. And but with him at Monaco now, I mean what they call it, Napoli now, and I think they with the injury to Romelu Lukaku, so there's a lot of playing time for him, and Napoli they are doing fine in the league, so everything is still going very fine for him.
Okay, so let's see if Napoli will also be winning the league, but they want to have a hand on the UEFA Champions League also. They throw into Arsenal there, and it's Ben White taking that and sends a long one into the box with this great chance for a second one for the Gunners. Acrobatic kick there. Well, unfortunately, that is not going to the back of the net. Marino with the last kick there, but the referee says that judged that to be an offside call and not a chance for it to be a on target for Arsenal. So it's going to be a free kick to Olympiacos to restart this game. I think Marino finds himself in a big offside position there. And it's going to be a free kick to restart the game by Olympiacos against the Gunners right there in the 26th minute of this encounter. Olympiacos are really coming all out and trying to see if they can get the equalizer against the Gunners. They're growing into this game well fast, and I think it's important for Arsenal to also try and get the second goal, because when you look at it, the last 3 to 4 minutes, it has really been dominated by Olympiacos.
Yeah, they've since conceding that goal, they've had one or two moments to have at least put themselves back, and Arsenal needs to be very very worried because if you allow them back, it might increase the level of confidence going forward. So for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal, we need to get the second goal to kill off any hope of them making any comeback in this game.
Okay, so let's see if the Gunners can hold on to that and get a second goal and stop Olympiacos from having a sense of belief. I think this has to be the owner Forest right there at the Arsenal Stadium enjoying. He's a Greek, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's also the owner of
Olympiacos. So he's out there enjoying his team playing football. Nottingham Forest are not having the best of seasons in the EPL. It's just beg the question: why did they actually sack out Nuno Espirito and brought in what's it called, Ange Postecoglou, who is not having it bad at Nottingham Forest?
Even with Nuno Espirito Santos himself this season, they've not started like the way they started last season. But I don't think it's because of the performance, but I think it's on-field related issue between the manager and the owner, and that's why he was let go.
Okay, so Olympiacos coming forward through Martin there, but Martin couldn't get the best out of that. I'm talking about Gelson Martin, another familiar face when it comes to football. The Olympiacos winger will really be a big problem, and he's a Portuguese. Yes, I can remember that about Gelson Martin. Let's see what it goes. The 30 years old that was brought down there, and it's going to roll out for a free kick to Olympiacos against Arsenal. They're gradually coming in, looking like a team that wants to threaten Arsenal, looking like a team that can get a goal out of this one. Can they get it as a potential penalty check in that game between Barcelona and PSG? Barcelona might be getting a free kick or a penalty if VAR are judged that to be a penalty, and that is a long one into the box there. But it rolls out. Still Olympiacos in possession, but this time around it's David Raya again to the rescue for the Gunners, and the referee says that won't be a penalty to Barcelona. Rather, it's going to be to PSG. Rather, it's going to be a corner kick, and PSG returning, looking and digging deep to try and get an equalizer in that one against Barcelona. They restart from corner kick. Let's see how they take that one, but it starts 1-0. Barcelona leading against PSG, and also don't you think it was too early for Asif Flick to throw in Lamine Yamal into this encounter?
I don't think it's too early, and look at Barcelona also making some changes, including Robert Lewandowski, not starting the game, and Barcelona will want to get all 3 points against this PSG. I can remember I think the last time they met, PSG defeated them. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but.
Yes, still Arsenal coming forward and digging deep to try and get the second goal, which might look like a security goal for them in this encounter. They're still wary of this Olympiacos attack line of Gelsin, also having the Podence and the Kabi. We also have the first goal in that one between Borussia Dortmund and Atletico Bilbao. It's Borussia Dortmund who has gone one front through Daniel Silverstein right there in the 28th minute to put Borussia Dortmund one up in that encounter. As scoreline is that game between AS Monaco and Manchester City is still 1-1 at the 30th minute, which means we've seen half an hour of football played at both centers, on all centers in Europe in this encounter, but still no goal from two centers, and that is Leverkusen against PSV and also Napoli against Sporting Lisbon, yet to dish out a goal of their own in that encounter, and to roll out for a throw-in to match to Arsenal rather against Olympiacos. 1-0, just one goal in 30 minutes. Are you still comfortable looking at the scoreline?
Honestly, very feeling still comfortable. I believe we'll get all 3 pounds. Arsenal will definitely get at least one or two more goals in this game.
You can see the belief from the Gunners fans there, and that is what you get when your team is one of the best in Europe right now. But they still have no Champions League to show up, and not just Champions League, no trophy in Europe to show off for how good they can be. And that is one thing that's really troubling the Gunners and fans, and not just the fans alone, even the club. They really want to lay their hands on either the league or both the league and the UEFA Champions League. It's left to see if that is possible. Arsenal will break out right now. Yeah, might just be a chance for the second goal with that delete. He went selfishly for it and went on his own like a striker, but Victor Yokeresh shots kept on rising and never into the back of the net. But I think that was a beautiful pass there from Martin Odegaard. A good defense splitting pass. I think Victor Yokeresh should have teed up his teammate Martinelli, who I think was in the better position to have tapped that in, but he rather went on goal by himself and couldn't put that into the back of the net. So it throws out for a throw-in right there to the Gunners against Olympiacos. As we're getting into the other side of 30 minutes, which leaves us with over barely 14 minutes in this first half of football. We just want to go to showcase, and that goal came from Gabriel Martinelli in the 12th minute. Ever since then, we've not seen any goal in this game between Arsenal and to Skelly. Skelly looks forward. Arsenal still trading passes across the Olympiacos box, and yep, I just spirit chance for a second goal. A beautiful block there by the Olympiacos captain Restos. But Arsenal in possession, but Piviola have cleared that again for Olympiacos. Martin Odegaard with the ball there just to go straight for shots. Olympiacos who are currently doing lots of clearing and forwarding in this encounter. Arsenal regains some possession again, and the referee this time around says that there was an infringement in that moment, and it's going to be a free kick to Olympiacos. Yes, it has really been a big battle in this encounter between Gelson Martins and Lewis Kelly in this game.
Yeah, and I think Lewis Kelly has been able to, hold his own there, and looking at him, dispossessing him there, though the referee I judged it to have been a foul there, but looking at that replay, was there a touch there?
No, Victor Yokeresh had the last touch on the ball there.
I think
yeah. Okay, as Olympiacos starting out there from a free kick from the goalkeeper who takes a long one. Podence couldn't get a hand on that. But he went down to the top, but the referee says that was a fair challenge, and it's a 50-50 challenge, and it's not going to be a free kick to Olympiacos right there at the 33rd minute of that counter. I'm going to other centers now to see what is going on. Yes, let's see if the Gunners will be getting us the second goal, but it's still 1-1 in that one between AS Monaco and Manchester City at the 34th minute. Arsenal 1, Olympiacos 0 as it starts. Barcelona leading 1-0 through that goal from Ferran Torres against the PSG, the defending champions of the UEFA Champions League. And we also have a Leverkusen against PSV. It's still 0-0. Borussia Dortmund 1, Atletico Bilbao 0, Napoli 0, Sporting Lisbon 0, and also Villarreal 1, Juventus 0 at the 34th minute. And also at the 34th minute, minutes. Our focus match, which is the Gunners against Olympiacos, is still 1-0 Arsenal leading, and also PSG having a chance from the free kick to reduce all equalizing this encounter. We have that danger man Vitinha, who was adjudged to be the number 3 best player in Europe. And yes, still PSG in possession with a big chance for their equalizer. Easily caught out there by Barcelona, but still PSG enjoying possession. Pacho on the ball, looks forward and finds Vitinha. Vitinha will come in forward, tries to play in his teammate by there, but straight into the pads of the Barcelona goalkeeper Chesney. And you can see the frustration on Luis Enrique. Yeah, he used to be a Barcelona coach and one of the most successful men to ever coach Barcelona.
Yeah, and he won't be happy if he couldn't get all 3 points in this game. But I don't think if they lose this game, it should not feel too bad, because you look at the starting 11, a lot of key players, starting from the defense to the attacking line.
Okay, so let's see how that goes. It's still 1-0 in that encounter with just barely 10 minutes to play in that game between Barcelona and PSG. Back to the Arsenal and Olympiacos game, 1-0 at the 35th minute. Also, it's a free kick to Arsenal, and they'll be looking to double their lead from this opportunity. Corner kick rather,
Yeah.
and it's a Leonardo Trossard, if I'm not mistaken, here standing on this corner kick on duties. You can see them, typical Arsenal, the way they line up for corner kick. It might just be a chance for them to score a second goal, because for each time we see Arsenal playing a corner kick, it's always looking like an assist or pre-assist to a goal. Trossard standing on this. The Arsenal players are causing a lot of troubles in the box. Like I said, fortunately, that is not going to the back of the net. Gabriel, who scored one from the corner kick during the weekend in that comeback against Newcastle. That was a beautiful game of football played against Newcastle. At the 87th minute, I was thinking Newcastle were going to steal a 1-0 victory over Arsenal, but they came back within the 5 minutes to get 2 goals against Newcastle in that encounter. Look at that routine there. Unfortunately, that is not going to back. Yeah, there was a foul already.
Yeah.
And you can look at the impeding on the goalkeeper there from the Arsenal player. The goalkeeper was brought down to his feet, and there was nothing the goalkeeper was going to do. And just what seems to some people complain about Arsenal, the way they impede on goalkeepers during corner kicks.
I don't think they really, because if you say impede, the referee would have, say, okay, that should be a foul or no go. But the referee and the VAR, they all look at it and say, no, that's not a foul. He talk about against Newcastle, William Saliba, standing very close there, against the goalkeeper. He wasn't really, though some people say he was marking the goalkeeper, but I don't think that should be a foul.
Okay, yes, you would never think opposite about Arsenal. The back into that game, 37 minutes is the Olympiacos in possession. What he was Chiquinho doing there, losing possession to Arsenal, but regains possession. Podence being called into action. Podence will hold on to the ball, tries to play in his teammates. What will he make out of that is Chiquinho on the ball there. The Brazilian holds on to it and returns it back to Podence. And Podence with a cross into the box. That beats. Another big save there from the Arsenal goalkeeper, as Kabil still come very close and getting Olympiacos the equalizer. Looking at the chances Olympiacos has been missing. No disrespect to the goalkeeper of Arsenal, David Raya, who I think has been top of it. That wasn't a save from the goalkeeper. I think it went way over the Arsenal goal post there. So it should be a goal kick to Arsenal. El Kabi are still looking dangerous against the Gunners in this encounter.
Yeah, he's looking very dangerous. And I think it's been long there with Olympiacos, because if not more than 5 to 6 years there. And, the Moroccan is a very, very, dangerous player if given the opportunity.
Okay, yes, we have the equalizer in that game between Barcelona and PSG at the 38th minute. As PSG were back in that encounter with a well-deserved goal against Barcelona. What a game of football we're currently having at hand. And you can see right now, even the manager, Muhila, if I'm not mistaken, don't let me murder that name. I'm talking about the striker who plays, or who is starting yes, Mayulu, who got the equalizer. We saw him at the Club World Cup. He gave a very good account of himself. And yeah, he's starting against Barcelona and also getting the equalizer. Look at the beautiful move and look at how he had his own from the younger Mayulu right there to get PSG back in this one.
Yeah, and he's taking his opportunity. Now, I was surprised. He started ahead of Goncalo Ramos, who is actually
Oh, but it's
on the
actually
bench.
making it worthy right now. You can see the
Yeah,
way he
that's
just pick
what I
up the
mean.
spots.
I was surprised. Luis Enrique is starting him ahead of the Portuguese striker, but he's giving good account of himself. So what it means now is that Goncalo Ramos, we have to sit up whenever he comes in.
Maybe
Because
maybe he can make a move to us now. We have a Saidi
they
Mayulu.
definitely come and sit on the bench.
There's a Saidi Mayulu with the equalizer, talking about the 19 years old PSG striker, putting that into the back of the net. He's a PSG graduate or youth team graduate. Yeah, that is it. Putting you catch them younger. Talking about this younger player. He's a French international at the under 20 stage, and he'll be looking to get more goals in his. Here's a Chiquito with the ball there. Well, Arsenal defending with all their life to cut Olympiacos. Or that is a Podence, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Podence there. Podence has becoming very close to put one into the back of the net. And look at that combination between him and Gelson Martins there. But unfortunately, his touch wasn't enough to put that into the back of the net. Looks a beautiful goal scored by Seni Mayulu against Barcelona. It shows how dangerous they can be in this encounter.
Yeah, they look very, very dangerous, and Barcelona will be very, very disappointed. Or I will be very disappointed if Barcelona fail to get all 3 points against this weekend PSG.
Yes, PSG coming forward again, looking to see if they can get on the second goal before the end of the first half. They have barely 5 more minutes to play in this encounter. Here's a PSG breaking through the Barcelona box and sends it across into the box there. But that evaded the player destined for. Bakola couldn't get hold of that. And here is Lami Yamal on the ball there for Barcelona. And sends it back into the paths of his teammates. Returns it into the defense. Jun Skunde on the ball. Finds Eric Garcia. Eric Garcia also to the ball for Barcelona. And he clears it off on the Barcelona's box and into the middle of the park. And talking about that game between Arsenal and Olympiacos. That game is also in the 40th minute. That's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. Long one there from the Arsenal's right back, Ben White, who plays in his teammates. And what will the Gunners make out of that? And a beautiful touch on it here to release Victor Gyökeres. Gyökeres set himself. The shot on that was actually too much, and the weight on the weight on that touch on that shot was just too much over the goalpost. And are you not getting worried about Victor Gyökeres? The goals that seems to be drying off.
Well, this should be his seventh or eighth game so far in this season. He has scored 3 goals. Though he's still really, really new with us. 3 goals. Though you expect him to get more than that in his first 8 games. But so far, you could see that he's getting used to the team. I watched him against Newcastle the other day. He didn't actually get a goal, but you could see how he was, putting a lot of pressures at the Newcastle defense. And today, I think the assist for the Martinelli goal has been, credited to him.
Arsenal keep on wasting the chances, and that's the latest one has to be Leonardo Trossard, unable to put that into the back of the net for the Gunners. We also have the first goal for Napoli, Rashford Højlund putting that into the back of the net. Telling me you actually criticized me. Yeah. Unfortunately for me, Rashford Højlund put that into the back of the net for Napoli. So it's Napoli 1, Sporting Lisbon 0 at the 42nd minute of that encounter.
Yeah, and the assist from the assist king, talking about Kevin De Bruyne.
Kevin De Bruyne. It looks like more like Kevin De Bruyne is killing the shine of Scott McTominay. Last season it was more about Scott McTominay controlling and dictating the tempo and the midfield of Napoli, but this season it has been more about more about Kevin De Bruyne. Even Scott McTominay has been pushed a bit to play outside of the midfield right now.
Yeah, to accommodate Kevin De Bruyne, which I believe what they call it, Antonio Conte is really happy and enjoying the service of Kevin De Bruyne. Now we do, you look at Kevin De Bruyne. His last days at Manchester City, he was always injured. But so far now with Napoli, he hasn't pick up any significant injury that would have kept him out of plays. But it means now that what they call Scott McTominay, the burden he carried
It
last
has
season,
reduced.
reduced.
I was just shredded. Okay, also the only center without a goal in this first half has to be Leverkusen against PSV, still 0-0 in that encounter at the 43rd minute. As it stands in that game between AS Monaco and the Manchester City at the 44th minute is 1-1 in that game. We also have Arsenal 1, Olympiacos 0, Barcelona 1, PSG 1, Leverkusen 0, PSV 0, Borussia Dortmund 1, Atletico Bilbao 0, Napoli 1, Sporting Lisbon 0, Villarreal 1, and also Juventus 0. And here we have Olympiacos find themselves in the box. Would that be a penalty? Referee allows place to continue. Says that was a fair challenge on the Leverkusen strike. Sorry, on the Olympiacos striker Kabi. I'm sure VAR will be having a view and check on that. But Arsenal, meanwhile, in the meantime, comes forward with the ball there, sends it straight into the path of Gabriel Martinelli, who returns it back and finds this Arsenal centre back. Talking about William Saliba, and in the middle of the park, Zubimendi controlling and dictating tempo of it for Arsenal, finds the captain Martin Odegaard. Odegaard with another defense splitting pass, but this time around it couldn't split the defense of Olympiacos. Gelson Martins, yes, brought down there, and it's going to be a free kick to Olympiacos, and also a yellow card to the Arsenal player there. Let's see if this was a penalty again. Let's see. That was a fair one. No. Here's Olympiacos back in possession. If that should happen to us now, I don't want to hear that should be a penalty.
But we saw what happened against Newcastle United.
We also saw Newcastle also getting a penalty appeal, which wasn't given. And here's the Barcelona game. We have Marcus Rashford on the ball there, approaches the box and gets himself into the box with a great chance for a second goal. But good defensive work there from Marquinhos. And it rolls out to a corner kick for Barcelona. 2 minutes additional time at the end of the 45 minutes. And they have 2 minutes to look for that equalizer. Marcus Rashford sending Zibinya to the market right there. Beautiful piece of skill there from Marcus Rashford. Unfortunately, Daniel Olmo couldn't get a touch on that. But Barcelona has a corner kick to salvage something from there. Will they be able to get back into the lead against PSG right there in the first minute of 2 minutes additional time? Another corner kick from Barcelona. Rashford would go in with a deep one, a long one there, but went side netting and a goal kick to PSG. Okay, we have Olympiacos also with a free kick against Arsenal right there. At the first minute of 2 minute additional time, at the end of 45 minutes, we have 2 minutes additional time added there by the fourth official. We also have Manchester City, who has gone back into the lead against AS Monaco. What a game and what a way to be for them to finish the first half, as they are now leading 2-1 against AS Monaco. Who else than the big man up front, Erling Haaland, with the second goal in the 44th minute.
Yeah. Erling Haaland racking up the goals in this game, and so I think he has found his goal scoring boot this season again. I think this should be his, if I'm correct, his 11th or 10th goal in club football this season, minus the number of goals he scored for his country this season.
Looking at Erling Haaland and also what's it called, the Real Madrid striker Kylian Mbappe. What are the chances of these two men, dominating and breaking the goal records set by Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo in the UEFA Champions League?
Well, it's looking like they will definitely do that, because I look at more especially Erling Haaland. He can't stop scoring, and even Kylian Mbappe, getting those goals. I won't be surprised. And look at them; they're still very, very young. There's still a number of years for them to play and to achieve and break that and even surpass both Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Though both of them are still playing, but they are not in Europe anymore. So I won't be surprised if Erling Haaland and Lewandowski, Kylian Mbappe actually broke the record.
All right, halftime in our 2 match. The game between PSG and Barcelona ended 1-1. What a beautiful piece of a game where piece of a interesting game we're seeing. That's one between Barcelona and PSG, and it's also halftime in that one between Arsenal rather, not Manchester United this time around. Halftime in that one between Arsenal and Olympiacos, with Arsenal taking a 1-0 lead into the halftime, with Martinelli scoring in the 12th minute. What we thought we'll be seeing a lot of goals in that encounter, but unfortunately at the end of first half, it ended Arsenal 1, Olympiacos 0. Also, AS Monaco and Manchester City has ended in the first half, with Manchester City taking a 2-1 lead into halftime. It's halftime in all centers. Villarreal 1, Juventus 0 as it stands. Napoli 1, Sporting Lisbon 0, Borussia Dortmund 1, Atletico Bilbao 0, Leverkusen 0, PSV 0, Barcelona 1, PSG 1, Arsenal 1, Olympiacos 0, and also AS Monaco 1, Manchester City 2. And looking at the all-time goal scorers in UEFA Champions League, we have Cristiano Ronaldo as the runaway leader with 141 goals, and also Lionel Messi coming in second with 129 goals, and we have Lewandowski, who is still playing active football with Barcelona at 105 goals. I think it's looking, yes, if Lewandowski can still play 3 more seasons with Barcelona, or play 3 more seasons in Europe, it's very possible he breaks that record of probably match Lionel Messi's record of 129.
Well,
but he has about 24.
possible.
That's about 24 goals to
Yeah.
meet Lionel Messi right now.
But I don't think he'll be able to, get 24 Champions League goal in 2 seasons. I don't think he'll even get 12 a season. Probably 3-4 season, which I don't think we will see that from Lewandowski. So I think we should be talking about players like Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland.
Okay, talking about Kylian Mbappe now. Kylian Mbappe has found himself at number 6, tied on same goal with Van Nistelrooy, who is retired. He has 60 goals. He's 11 goals away from equaling Raul Gonzalez, a legend of the club, where he finds himself above Real Madrid, and also is about 30 goals away from equaling Karim Benzema, who is currently fourth at 90 goals, and about 80 goals for Kylian Mbappe to equal Cristiano Ronaldo at 141.
Yeah,
And he has 60 right now.
You have to minus 2 from the 80 because he has gotten 2 today.
I'm talking about Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe is on 60.
Mbappe rather. Kylian Mbappe, and I think he can still do it. It's still 24 years. We see Cristiano Ronaldo and could play 30, 40 years. So I won't be surprised if Kylian Mbappe actually go all the way and get those goals.
Okay, one man who has also broken straight into the top 10 has to be Erling Haaland, with his 2 goals today, sending him straight to 53 and overtaking Mohamed Salah at 10th. Mohamed Salah is currently the 10th all-time goal scorer with 52, but Haaland with 2 goals already and still counting in this encounter sits on 53, now the 10th. So we have this 2 talisman, Kylian Mbappe sitting on 6th, and also Haaland find himself at 10th, just about 7 goals between 2 of them.
Yeah,
And the competition is getting so thick between them.
honestly, and you look at the level or set of strikers you have in Europe now. I think both Erling Haaland and Kylian Mbappe. Though Kylian Mbappe, some will say is not even a proper number 9 because he can play across all channel compared to Erling Haaland, who is
The traditional 9.
number 9, and that's why I give kudos to Kylian Mbappe for what he has done. Because you saw him with Paris. I mean Monaco, he was actually
And also,
playing
yeah.
from the wing, with PSG also, and now with Real Madrid. Sometimes they even play from the left hand side of the attack, and he still get those goals. But I think Real Madrid have decided to make him the number 9 going.
And it's paying off. It's actually paying off for them.
It's paying off for them.
Okay, also looking at the all-time goal scorers, there's no way we'll talk about that without talking about that man who currently plays for Bayern Munich. That is Harry Kane, who currently sits at 18 with 44 goals in the UEFA Champions League. Any chance of Harry Kane still breaking into the top 10?
It's still possible, but you look at Harry Kane also. Talking about players like Lewandowski, the age is not there any longer like that. But I won't be surprised if Harry Kane, actually, broken to the top 10 before he hangs a boot.
Okay, you can go straight into the comment section and tell us who do you think among the active player can actually break that record of Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi in the top scorer chart of the UEFA Champions League. Back to analysis, and after my analysis right now, the Arsenal against Olympiacos game, Arsenal leading 1-0, but Olympiacos came back stronger in that encounter in the dying embers of that game, and looking like yes, they are capable of getting an equalizer against the Gunners.
Yeah, they look so because they've, if not for David Raya, they could have been, the game could have been level, or even if they might have even taken the lead also. But Arsenal needs to, sit up. Olympiacos, they are not a pushover side. Though their first game, I think they played at a goalless draw against Paphos from Cyprus. I was very, very surprised. They were unable to, defeat the team from Cyprus. But you look at how they've been playing after they considered that goal from Arsenal. They look very, very good going forward.
Okay, so let's look at some of the comment section. We have Benedict Boniface up Arsenal to the world. Okay, we'll just hope that. We also have SN AFC. Hello, how is it going? Yes, it's going very well for Arsenal, but it's still a slim lead for the Gunners in this encounter against Olympiacos. Arsenal 1, Olympiacos 0. Manchester City leading 2-1 away from home against AS Roma. 2 goals for Erling Haaland. We've actually sung praises of Erling Haaland. Do you think Manchester City are finally getting their mojo back?
I think they are, gradually, but to be honest, they've not been really convinced. They need to play at least probably to the ending of this year, first half of the season, before I will be able to, sit and say, they are now their mojo is fully back. Because you look at some games they've been playing, also you see the way they've been playing. They are not playing like the Manchester City that we used to know, but of late they've been they've been on form and getting the goal. And I think the key thing for Manchester City is to make sure they continue to supply the ball to Erling Haaland, because it's with Erling Haaland they'll definitely get the goals. But if they fail to do that, I think then it's all over for them.
Okay, also looking at it, there's no way we'll talk about Manchester City issues this season without talking about the injuries. A lot of injuries worries for Manchester City. The likes of Czechia are out injured, and they also lost the talisman in Kevin De Bruyne to Napoli, who I think they've not that position, though Tijani Rajas is doing his best. How big of a miss do you think Kevin De Bruyne is to Manchester City? They also lost Gundogan, don't forget.
Yeah, even Jack Grealish also, being sent out on loan. I think it's a very big miss for them, having a player in the like of Kevin De Bruyne, living for free. Though you look at Kevin De Bruyne, more especially last season, it was almost out injured all through, but even the few games he played, you could see the impact he made for the team. But I think they need to they brought in Tijani Reinders, the likes of Ryan Cherki, but I don't think either one of them will be able to replace Kevin De Bruyne. That's my own personal view, but I think they will only try.
Okay, as the only try. Looking at Manchester City injured on players, we have Ryan Aitnori, who is out injured, and we also have Ryan Cherki out injured. Kusanov is out injured. Omar Mamouche also out injured. These are 4 players who are capable of getting straight into the Manchester City starting 11. It's left to see how they handle their issues at that club. And also to the Barcelona against the PSG game at halftime, it's 1-1. Goals scored by Ferran Torres at the 19th minute for Barcelona before sending Mayulu with a beautiful individual goal from PSG, equalized in the 38th minutes. Beautiful first half of game we've seen in that encounter.
Yeah, beautiful game, and it's that's a game between both two strong teams, and you expect them to get good account of themselves. But the only disappointment I'm having from Barcelona is that they couldn't take advantage of the PSG's injury situation.
Okay, looking at talking about the PSG injury situation right now, you look at it, the attacking trio we saw in the UEFA Champions League final. Talking about Desiree Doué, Kvaratskhelia, and also Ousmane Dembele, who has been adjudged as a Ballon d'Or winner. That is the Ballon d'Or current best player in the world, are all out injured. I do think that's is probably why they are actually struggling against this Barcelona side.
Perhaps because if they could, field this looking at Bacola, Mayulu, and yeah, and they're still holding Barcelona at home again. That's away at in Spain there, and I think with the Dembele, Carrasquela, and Doué, they might even be leading by now. And not only them missing those three. Look at the midfield also.
Yeah, there's no what's it called? Okay, there's no
João Neves.
João Neves. Yeah, they have just Vitinha and Februaris, but also Zari Emery is not a bad player to start.
But he doesn't really get his start. When you talk about PSG, he comes in, and he also the defense. The captain Marquinhos is missing. So
Yeah, they have to start Pacho and Zembengi. Okay, also let's go straight to that game between Napoli and Sporting Lisbon. Napoli leading 1-0. A goal scored by Rasmus Højlund in the 36th minute. What a morale booster goal, motivation booster goal for Højlund.
yeah, and that was a fun. De Bruyne, putting him through on goal there, and he raced onto the ball, and one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and coolly slotting down one. I can't remember him doing that at Manchester United. Though even him getting that kind of pass he got from Kevin De Bruyne at Manchester United is very, very rare. So good one for Napoli and Rasmus Højlund.
Okay, back to our fucking match. The game between Arsenal and Olympiacos. Olympiacos barely having a foot in that game in the whole of the first 45 minutes. Expectations from the second half. What are you looking? Which player are you looking that probably your manager Mikel Arteta should be substituting into this game in the second half? Or should be bringing into this game in the second half?
At the moment, I don't think he should be bringing on too many players or any player. Now, probably for the next 10-15 minutes, if the game still remains like that, then try and bring on the likes of Bukayo Saka, Iberichi Eze to add firepower up front. And but if we're able to double the lead in the next 10-15 minutes, then you can probably bring on some players like Norgard and go, or even the young lad on the bench to make his Champions League debut.
Okay, looking at the Arsenal bench, we have Kepa Arrizabalaga, the goalkeeper gotten from Chelsea. There's also Tommy Setford on the bench. We have Christian Mosquera. There's also Julian Timber, Ricardo Calafori, Christian Norgard, Eitan Waneri, Declan Rice, Max Dowan, Bukayo Saka is also on the bench, and also we have Iberichi Eze on the bench. But Arsenal has about 4 players out injured. Gabriel Jesus still out injured. Kai Havertz out injured. There's also Pero Ekape, who was gotten on loan from Leverkusen, also out injured. And Noni Madueke, like I said, is out injured for 8 weeks. 4 players, but not really starters for Gunners, out injured.
Yeah, but they are very, very vital
Pivotal.
players. For the team.
Okay, straight to Olympiacos bench where we have Georgios Kourakis on the bench. We also have Alexandros Paskalakis on the bench. There's also Gulian Biancone, and we also have Alexios Kalogeropoulos. We also have Bruno Yemiachi, the Nigerian left back, on the bench. There's also the Ogo Nascimento. We have Gabriel Strefeza, Lorenzo Scipioni. We also have various on the bench. We also have Christos on the bench, and also Mehdi Teremi. Yes, that's another player that can come in the second half and cause a lot of troubles for the Gunners.
He could come in and cause trouble, but I don't think because I look at him, he's about 36. If I'm correct.
But the experience is there for the young.
Yeah,
for
the
that man.
experience is there. I saw him with Inter Milan last season. But let's see. But I don't think he should be, giving us, a cause for concern.
It shouldn't be a cause of concern for the Gunners, as he has said. And we can see the players are making their way back to the pitch for the second half of this encounter. Another 4 to 5 minutes ago in the UEFA Champions League. Do you see Olympiacos causing any trouble in the second half?
I expect them to, the game is still 1-0, and they'll be having the belief that, we can still get something. And that's why Arsenal needs to, quickly double the lead to, take away any, hope of Olympiacos, mounting, a late comeback or taking any point away from this game.
Okay, well, what's your expectations in the second half of that game between Barcelona and PSG? Do you see PSG, coming back to upset Barcelona in the second half?
Well, I actually predicted Barcelona to win in this game, though I'm still very, very disappointed that they are still struggling against this PSG. But I expect the manager, to make changes and bring on the likes of Robert Lewandowski, and I still feel that Barcelona will definitely take all 3 points.
Okay, let's see if Barcelona can take all 3 points in that encounter. Almost all centers are back onto the pitch for the second half, and we can see Gabriel Martinelli on our screens here for the Gunners. Don't forget, it is a commentary-based program on Premier Sports Fan Center where we take you through the live events and live feeds of games going up around the world. And tonight is the UEFA Champions League, day 2 of the UEFA Champions League. And our focal match remains that game between Arsenal and Olympiacos right there from Emirates Stadium, and the game between Barcelona and PSG in what so many thoughts should have been the final of last season's UEFA Champions League.
Not so many, maybe some Barcelona or PSG fans, because even some Arsenal fans also feel that it should have been Arsenal Barcelona.
You guys lost the first and second leg in that encounter.
Yeah,
so
we did, but Barcelona didn't win any of the legs also. So they drew the first leg and lost the second leg also. So
well, they didn't lose. They didn't lose the two. Because they had to wait until the last minute of the game to actually succumb to losing out of the final. But Arsenal, right from the first leg, I think you guys were done.
Right from the first leg.
Early stages of the second leg, you lost more in the second leg than the first leg.
We lost 1-0
in the first leg. And the second leg, you lost 2-1.
2-1, yeah. So we were not really down out in the first leg. So I think the second leg was, the loss there was the issue there.
So you guys are looking out for PSG this season, so you can pay back.
It's not about looking out for them. We defeated them also last season. I remember we played, last season, and if we meet again, which I will also, hope we do, and at least get a revenge against them.
Okay, yes, that revenge might just be coming in for the Gunners very soon, probably in the later stage of the Champions League. Here's Olympiacos driving close and looking to get that equalizer in this encounter. Gerard Martins couldn't get one there. He's going to roll out and finally to a throw-in for the Gunners in the early stages of the second half. Still no substitution from both sides coming into the second half of this encounter. PSG also going all out against Barcelona. Yes, just going there against Bracola. Bacola is also beautiful with the ball at his feet, and John cross into the box there. But there's nobody from PSG to get onto the end of that. And yes, Lami Yamal with the ball switches into the middle of the park and finds his teammate and switch position and straight into the path of Marcus Rashford. But the weight on that pass is actually too much for the England international to get onto that. As of flick on our screen, some PSG returns and starts from a throw-in and into the defense there finds Zibia. As Zibia looks inward into the midfield and finds his teammate Zari, if I'm not mistaken there, or Vitinha there. Who finds Hakimi, who is the standing captain tonight in the absence of Marquinhos, the PSG captain. That game is in the 48th minute already. We're still 1-1 as a standing. That's one. Barcelona will be looking to get back in the lead as early as possible.
Yeah, and but PSG have actually started very well in this second half, not allowing Barcelona to have ball in this early stages of the second.
I think when it comes to midfield battle, it's always hard to actually win PSG. When it comes to midfield battle, you look at the caliber of players they have in that middle of the park, having Fabian Ruiz, Vitinha, and also starting Zaria Emery. The three players are so compatible that they can switch positions in between themselves.
Yeah, and they know how to hold the ball, and they don't just lose possession anyhow.
Okay, but Barcelona also have that's interesting player talking about Pedri in their own rank. Also, is also a joy and beauty to watch in a game of football. Eric Garcia on the ball there for Barcelona, steals the ball in a dangerous position, but Chelsea returns it back to Szczesny, the goalkeeper, which starts in his second game for Barcelona this season. He was also pivotal for Barcelona last season on that run to winning the Spanish La Liga. Well, let's say he has lost his starting 11 to Joan Garcia, another tremendous goalkeeper who Barcelona signed from Espanyol. It's always rare when you say Espanyol, sell player to Barcelona, but Joan Garcia has really been a good addition for Barcelona.
Yeah, and you look at this Barcelona goalkeeping situation. They still had the like of Ter Stegen. Though at a point we were told that it has been add to the transfer list surplus to requirement. But after some meetings with his agent and the team and him, he decided to stay with Barcelona. Though I've not been seeing him making appearance, but I don't think he's out injured. But
He's out injured. He's out injured.
okay,
Yeah.
but because I know it's been a while.
He's out injured, so I think he'll be back for. He's out injured for about 6 months, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, we have the first goal in the second half, and the second one for Borussia Dortmund against Atletico Bilbao, and it's the Englishman Kane Chukwuemeka who got that in the 50th minute. So it's Dortmund 2, Atletico Bilbao 0 in that counter, and also Juventus has equalized against Villarreal. Federico Gatti in the 49th minute with the equalizer for Juventus, and also Arsenal coming very close for the second goal. But unfortunately, that won't go into the back of the net. Leonardo Trossard with that's a beautiful cross, but the finishing.
That was not beautiful. I think that cross was too much. Yeah.
And it couldn't get onto the parts of what's it called, Gabriel Martinelli. And Martinelli is playing out of his normal position today. How do you think he has fared in the first 50 minutes of this encounter?
Well, I don't think he has fared badly because he's the one on the score sheet, and he had other chances also. But so far, I think it's still above.
Yes, Arsenal coming all out again with a spirit chance, but lost on possession. And it's Olympiacos will look to break out Podence on the ball there. Holds onto the ball with a beauty to watch. Cut inward with the ball for Olympiacos. It's still Podence in possession. Manchester City, PSG coming forward, but that will be going to the back of the net, straight into the hands of Chesney, the goalkeeper. Go there with an important block on that beautiful run of play from Barcola. Barcola will always be a handful player against any opponent. Left up Jules Koundé for the rug there. And cut inward, but took Eric Garcia in and out there. But fortunately, the finishing will actually let him out there. So it's still 1-1 in that game between Barcelona and PSG. But PSG, I'm taking it all to Barcelona in the second half. And also this one between Arsenal and Olympiacos. Olympiacos still struggling to create anything meaningful in this game against the Gunners. It's left to see if they can stage a comeback in that second half. As it stands, only center we're yet to see a goal has to be Leverkusen against the PSV at the 53rd minute of that game. It's still 0-0 between Leverkusen and PSV. Back to the Gunners game. Arsenal losing possession. Gerard Martins on the ball. Gelson Martins rather on the ball there, but lost possession. It's going to roll out for a throw into Gunners. Yes, PSG coming closer again, and this time around there is Mulubus, who sends a long one into the cross there, into the box there. We couldn't get that into the part of any PSG player, but PSG keeps on knocking on the door of Barcelona, and it seems like they found Barcelona out because the way they are totally dominating Barcelona in this game is only about a time, minutes of time before we get the second goal from PSG.
Yeah, honestly, maybe the start of this second half, it's been PSG all the way, and they've been knocking on the Barcelona defense, and won't be surprised if they get the first goal this second half. Ooh.
That'll be a corner kick out to PSG there. Hakimi with a beautiful piece of skill there. It has to be a wow football right there from Hakimi. Bracola with that shot also. Beautiful piece of beautiful shot there from Bracola. But the goalkeeper was also up to the task there.
Yeah.
Yes, Arsenal coming through with the spirit second goal for the Gunners, and yeah, he's a Trossard.
What's Trossard doing?
Unfortunately, he couldn't get
why don't you take the shot?
couldn't get down into the back of the net. Trossard with that shot for Arsenal, and he actually made himself a big. That is the right thing to do, but the finishing touch actually let him out there. And it's going to be a goal kick to Olympiacos. We've seen about the first 10 minutes of the second half, and it has been Arsenal totally dominating against Olympiacos. When should we be expecting your second goal in this game?
can't really say now because look at the chances we have been creating, and this second half, I don't think we've registered any shot on target. So it has all been, off target. So, but if we continue pushing, I believe we definitely get the goal. But I don't know how long it will take now.
Okay, yeah, so let's see if they can continue pushing for that second goal. Bacola on the ball there. He's also always a joy. Takes run through Gerard Martin. Still PSG in possession. They cross into the box there. Burrows out for a corner kick out to PSG. And yes, Arsenal with a chance again. But the goalkeeper will always be a problem. We have the second goal is Juventus, who has gone into the lead against Villarreal in that account. In the 55th minute, they've turned things around in that encounter. They're currently leading Villarreal 2-1 in that encounter.
Yeah, surprising one. I was, tipping Villarreal, to actually get all 3 points. But, PSG showing, Juventus rather, giving good account of themselves in this game. And it's the man they just, introduced in the 46th minute, talking about
Consecao.
Getting them the second goal after Gatti,
Yeah, so the second goal was scored by Francisco Consecao, the Portuguese winger, in the 56th minute after Federico Gatti got them the equalizer in the 49th minute. The first goal in that game was scored by judges of Mikaldasi in the 18th minute of Villarreal, but they had to surrender their 1-0 lead up to currently trailing the game by 2-1 in this encounter. So back to the game where we have just one goal. The Arsenal against Olympiacos game. Here is Marcus Rashford for Barcelona as he approaches the PSG box. What will he make of it? And sends himself into the box, but beautiful defensive work there from Subinya. It was out for a corner kick up to Barcelona in that encounter. It's still 1-1 in that game at the 5th or 6th minute, 4 minutes away from 1 hour mark of football. And here's Olympiacos also coming forward against the Gunners with this great chance for Olympiacos. Arsenal breakthrough added the back there. What happened? Is that going to be I think the ball went out. Yes, it's a goal kick. Goal kick. It should be a goal kick. And yes, Barcelona coming forward with trying to get the second goal, but Chavilia says no, and PSG will break out on the counter against Barcelona right now. That should be a free kick. Yes, rightly given by the referee, as the PSG player was brought out in that process. 57 minutes gone. Arsenal also preparing their first substitution in this game.
Yeah, and I think Mikateta, he wants to spice the things up in this game, and Arsenal needs to be very careful with this passes at the back there. Looking at that pass from David Raya, that was too scary there.
You can hear that Arsenal needs to be careful with the passes at the back in this encounter. We're saying that this substitution Arsenal are preparing, and you have to look at this man for PSG, talking about Mbaye. Yeah, he has also been Ibrahim Mbaye. He has also been one of the shining light in this encounter, causing a lot of troubles for Barcelona in the front of the attack in that encounter. Back to this one between Arsenal and Olympiacos. Arsenal be preparing to substitution. Julian Timber and Declan Rice being thrown into this game. Is there any need for these two players in this encounter?
I don't really, but you saw what's his name now? Mikel Merino going down, holding his legs there. We don't know, maybe it's due to, injury.
White also.
And Ben White, who has not, since he came back from that injury. He hasn't really been himself. And, I think he's the weakest link so far in the Arsenal defense. And Mikateta don't want to take any chance, probably. That's why.
Okay, at the 58th minute, we've seen Arsenal make two substitutions of their own in this encounter. Declan Rice being thrown into the game, and also Julian Timber being thrown into it. We also have Merino and Ben White making their way out of the turf for the remaining. Getting straight into the 58th minute. We have another yellow card in this game. Is Gabriel, who has picked up a yellow card for time wasting tactics in this encounter. 58th minute, Arsenal 1, Olympiacos 0, and still Manchester City 2, AS Monaco rather 1 in that encounter. We also have Barcelona 1, PSG 1, Leverkusen 0, PSV 0, Borussia Dortmund 2, Atletico Bilbao 0, Napoli 1, Sporting Lisbon 0. Juventus are leading away from home at Villarreal 2-1 in that encounter. Looking at the Arsenal games, yes, we've gone about 15 minutes right now, but still no goal in the second half.
Yeah, still no goal, and the first set of substitution has been made. So let's see the next 5 minutes how they substitute the team.
Okay, yes, let's see what the substitutions brings into this encounter. Yes, William Saliba straight into the path of the goalkeeper, Daniel, David
Substitute, removing him because you look at how he has been playing, it's not really convincing because he has been dispossessed so many times in this game.
Looking at Lamine Yamal there, winning the free kick for Barcelona in a promising position there. It has to take two players to bring him down there. So it's a free kick to Barcelona. The young 18 years old Lamine Yamal will finish them second on the Ballon d'Or pecking order. Yeah, it's Martins with the ball there. It should be going down. That should be a free kick. Yes, a free kick to Olympiacos. And a yellow card in the process to the Gunners player Zubimendi at the 60th minute. We have barely 30 more minutes to play in this encounter. It's Arsenal 1, Olympiacos 0. But Olympiacos are currently growing into this game, looking to push themselves into getting a second goal over the Gunners. Getting their own equalizer against Arsenal in this encounter. Atletico Bilbao has reduced the deficit against Borussia Dortmund, yes, in that game as Goka Guruzeta gets them one back in the 64th minute. So as it stands right now, is Borussia Dortmund 2, Atletico Bilbao 1 in that encounter.
Yeah.
We also have a Sporting Lisbon equalizing against Napoli right there in the 64th minute. The goals are fast coming in the second half right now.
Yeah, the goals are coming in, and surprisingly, the game I expected a lot of goals to come from. We still not seen any goal as a match between Bayer Leverkusen and PSV. Honestly, I expected a lot of goals from that game because we know Bayer Leverkusen are a team that attacking. They score a lot of goals, and PSV also they don't really know how to defend, and they also they concede a lot, and they also score a lot. And surprisingly, more than an hour of football and no good to register there.
Okay, Sporting Lisbon equalizer came in the second minute through Luis Javier Suarez from the penalty spot. Not the older Luis Suarez this time around. Well, this is another Luis Suarez who is coming up the rank for Sporting Lisbon. He joined after the Soda, you're correct. They got him from the Spanish La Liga. Girona. Yeah, Girona. That was where they got him for. And he has been making it his mark at Sporting Lisbon also.
Yeah, he's been consistent, getting those goals for Sporting Lisbon, and he's showing the sense that he wants to, take over the boot, left by Victor Gyökeres for Sporting CP.
Okay, as I'm back into the defense, there is Arsenal in possession. Also, Lewis Kelly there returns it to the goalkeeper. Arsenal in possession. Yeah, might just be a chance for Barcelona some second goal. Unfortunately, they couldn't put that into the back of the net. Alfred Zenter with a beautiful chance, but a beautiful big save there from the goalkeeper. Villa. That was on Danny Olmo. Olmo should be scoring from that. The goalkeeper was beaten by Kimi with a big save for Barcelona right there. I think it was Lamine Yamal with a follow-up shot, but couldn't get that into the back of the net. It's a corner kick to Barcelona in the process at the 64th minute of that encounter, and also in the 64th minute in this one between Arsenal and Olympiacos. It's still a solidarity goal for the Gunners in this encounter. Scored in the 12th minute by Gabriel Martinelli. When we thought we'd be seeing a lot of goals in this game, it's unfortunately it's just one goal to showcase in it between Arsenal and Olympiacos. I won't be surprised if Olympiacos get an equalizer against you guys.
Well, it's football at times. When you fail to double your lead, and especially when you get the goal very early in the and you continue to rely on that goal at times, the opponent might come in and into you. But I still have the feeling that Arsenal is definitely going to get at least one or two more goals in this game.
And finally, we have Leverkusen get on the first goal. That's why a legitimate goal against the PSV. It took them 65 minutes to finally break on the back of the net in that encounter. So as it stands, it's Leverkusen 1, PSV 0. Finally have goals in all centers. Here is Leonard Trossard for the Gunners. Oh, how on earth is that not going to the back of the net? Beats the defender, beats the goalkeeper. But fortunately, he couldn't beat the goalpost this time around. As here is Olympiacos on the ball there. Lost lost possession. It's still Arsenal in possession, but they couldn't keep that in check. It throws out for a goal kick for Olympiacos. Pirola with doing a lot of defensive work there. They ask themselves the questions: how did that not end it? How did that not end up in the back of the net?
Yeah, everything is not just working for. Look at that pass again there, and oh
Well, he should be scoring this. He should be scoring this.
yeah.
There's nothing else left to do there, but I trust that. But you have to also give it to the goalkeeper.
The defender
there.
rather.
He also made himself big there,
Yeah.
caused some confusion for the Gunners. Bayer Leverkusen goal was scored by Christian Kofane right there in the 65th minute. So it's 1-0 Leverkusen leading at home against PSV in that encounter. As it stands in various centers, AS Monaco 1, Manchester City 2 at the 66th minute. Arsenal 1, Olympiacos 0. We also have Barcelona 1, PSG 1 at the 67th minute. Leverkusen 1, PSV 0. Borussia Dortmund leading 2-1 against Atletico Bilbao. Napoli 1, Sporting Lisbon 1 at the 67th minute. While Villarreal are trailing 1-2 against Juventus also at the 68th minute of that encounter. Yeah, he's Leverkusen. I might just beat. And that is the equalizer. But this time around, VR says no. It's going to be an offside for the first time. The Olympiacos pulled that into the back of the net. Well, fortunately, it's an offside call on that. And that will deny Kabi that equalizer. This is how dangerous they can surely be against the Gunners. Arsenal has been wasting a lot of chances in this game for them to bury this encounter from being a contest.
Yeah, and what was his name? Mikel Arteta, needs to make changes and withdraw the likes of Trossard this game.
Okay, yeah, so that will stand for El Kabi, but he has shown what he
still
can
under
show.
review.
Yes, under review, but I don't think that is going to stand. It's an offside delve check from the view of what we've seen in this game. We also have Ressos having a word with the referee, but the referee says he's waiting for VR confirmation on that goal to see if that goal is going to stand. But I doubt if that will be standing. And El Kabi also praying to God that that should stand and count as a legitimate goal. We're waiting for VR final view, and after VR check, it's adjudged to be an offside goal against Olympiacos. Lucky Arsenal there.
Yeah, and I think that should be a wake-up call for us now. You need to bury this game, take it beyond Olympiacos. Looking at that chance again from Leandro Trossard, that ball should be, ending at the back of the net. And I think Mikel Arteta should have, made the substitution. The Trossard to me, and aside from that, chance there that he missed, he has not really been in this game, even with his passes.
So far tonight in the UEFA Champions League, let's see if they can get some more goals tonight to beat the number of goals we saw yesterday in the UEFA Champions League. Let's see if more goals as come in tonight. There was still no goal to report right now in the various games. It still stands the same way as it is as we're approaching the 70th minute in the game between Arsenal and Olympiacos. 69 minutes gone in that game. Arsenal 1, Olympiacos 0. We are barely 20 minutes away from the end of the game. Chances of Arsenal getting a second goal, it's now looking more like it's going to end 1-0.
It's looking, but still Arsenal. Late goals can still come in this game.
Okay, so let's see if late goals and late dramas will happen in that one between Arsenal and the Olympiacos. If I'm asked, I think I'll favor Olympiacos of getting that second goal in this game and turning this game into a 1-1 draw. Yeah, since anything can happen in a game of football. Is that what you said?
It's possible.
Okay, as still as it stands, status quo remains the same in various centers. And it's going to be a throw into Arsenal against Olympiacos in this encounter. I was chasing this one, but Arsenal make them in that game. Also, Barcelona are still growing into this encounter. We can see them preparing a substitution. That is if that man has not come in. Talking about Robert Lewandowski. It looks like Barcelona will be throwing the legendary frontman into this game. What do you think you will bring into this game for Barcelona?
Bring goals and experience up front. I expected them to have bringing on as early as the first 5 minutes of the second half. But let's see how it's going to here now.
Okay, as David Raya seems to be the man who is still keeping Arsenal in this encounter. and they'll have to thank their stars that they have a world-class goalkeeper like the Spaniard, the second choice goalkeeper, who has been the decisive movement man for the Gunners in this encounter. As it stands right now, we're waiting to see if we'll be getting more goals in the UEFA Champions League tonight. But Arsenal 1, Olympiacos 0. The Gunners comes forward again, looking dangerous to get one. We're straight into the 71 minutes, barely 19 more minutes to play in regulation time. Olympiacos will be looking at the Gunners in this one.
Yeah, they're still in the game, as far as the game still remains 1-0, and they'll still be feeling we can still take something from this game. But Arsenal needs to, take this game away beyond them.
Okay, we also have Danny Olmo and Marcus Rashford being withdrawn in that game between Barcelona and PSG. And we also have the return of Bade. Alejandro Bade, Casedo, and also Lewandowski being thrown into that counter. It's really great. It's really good to see Bade back. Injuries haven't let us see the best of that young man.
Yeah, and it's been hard for a very long time now. I'm so happy that he's back and ready to play again for Barcelona.
Yeah, so that's what Balde brings into this account. He's a class of his own whenever he is fit to play for both club and country. And we also have Gerard Martin, who is supposed to be his deputizer. Left back for Barcelona, being withdrawn for the first choice of defender Alejandro Balde. And here is Olympiacos of growing confidence, coming forward against Arsenal, sends a long shot. But took a wicked deflection of the Gunners players in the box there. And yeah, we have it's going to be a free kick after that infringement of the Gunners player right there in the 72nd minute. Arsenal will be preparing two other substitutions, Bukayo Saka and Eberichi Eze. And right now it looks like they are going for the killer.
Yeah, I said it earlier on after at half time, after 10-15 minutes and the game still remains like that, you need to bring on a more attacking player, Bukayo Saka and Eberichi Eze. I was surprised, he's bringing them to me, I think, a little bit late in this game.
Okay, it's the equalizer for PSG in that game against Leverkusen, as Ismaila Sabari, 72nd minute goal, returns parity in that one. It's Leverkusen 1, PSV 1 as it stands right now in that account. It took them about 65 minutes to get the first goal, but under 10 minutes we have the second goal in that game already, 1-1 at the 74th minute.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I was expecting a lot of goals and both teams to score in that game, because both teams they don't know how to defend defensively. And they've gotten goal, and what it means now is that the only game we have now currently going that that both teams have not scored is the game between Arsenal and Olympiacos.
Every other yes, it's going to happen in that game. Both teams are going to score. Both teams are going to score in that game. Okay, as it stands right now, Olympiacos needs to score one goal to help the bookies make get something on. That's anybody who pick the all-team goal. How do you call it?
Both teams to score. Yeah,
both teams to score, because I don't really do all those game. Okay, yes, we also have another substitute now for that equalizer, and also this time again it's that big man up front there, Abby there, but couldn't still put it into the back of the net against the Gunners. They still keep on knocking on the door, but knocking on the door without putting the ball into the back of the net won't really count. Beautiful header there from him, but a goal is what they need to stand a chance of getting 1 point away from home at the Emirates Stadium against the Gunners. Let's see if they can get something from this corner kick, as Kabi is right there in the box, and a lot of Olympiacos players, the motivation from the fans is actually keeping them going in this one, as they're looking to see if they can salvage something from this game. But finally, Arsenal will clear their line through Yokoresh, who is back doing defensive duties for the Gunners. Olympiacos back in possession, finally lost the ball. Referee allows place to continue, says that was a fair challenge from Bukayo Saka. And Berichi is on the ball, but lost possession. Yeah, he's Olympiacos in possession of the ball. What would they make out of that? It chose to go into the no man's land. Coutinho with the ball there, sends across into the box. Arsenal regains possession. Yeah, he's Odegaard on the ball right there, holds onto it and looking out to see if there's an Arsenal player he can release. Yeah, he's Declan Rice right there. finds the Berichi Eze. Berichi Eze holds onto the ball. Here's a PSG going all out, looking to get the second goal, but fortunately, that is going to roll out for a corner kick. Here is Bukayo Saka on the ball there. Yeah, finds himself in the box with this great chance for a second goal. That should be it. And the goalkeeper to the rescue. And that is not going to the back of the net. Beautiful, terrific save there from the goalkeeper, Zulaskis. And the Gunners fans, even in the studio here, can't believe that they go for, or that they find his way to the back of the net. PSG coming very close to get the second goal. Same way Arsenal also coming very close. You would have expected this to go into the back of the Martin Odegaard has just on the net to beat.
Yeah, and there was a block there. Is it the player or the goalkeeper now? And the goalkeeper.
Oh, the second was also the same. It was also the player there. Beautiful. That is a wow moment here from the captain. Restores to deny Arsenal a chance of getting a second goal. Olympiacos will clear their line. Okay. Into the part of his Arsenal teammates and Bukayo Saka there. Saka will chose to return it back to the Arsenal goalkeeper, David Raya. Raya with a long one right there in the 83rd minute. We have barely 7 more minutes to play in regulation time. It looks like, yes, Arsenal should be looking to defend their 1-0 lead right now.
Yeah, and there was opportunity for us not to have game, but Olympiacos, doing a very fantastic, nice defending the back there, and if we can't get more goals, then we should be looking at protecting the one we've got so far.
Again, Napoli are back in the lead against Sporting Lisbon. It's now Napoli 2, Sporting Lisbon 1, and also Borussia Dortmund getting the third one against Atletico Bilbao. It's now Borussia Dortmund 3, Atletico Bilbao 1, Napoli 2. Sporting Lisbon 1 in that account. A third goal scored by the big man up front there, Seou Guirassy, in the 82nd minute to to remove that or stop that from being a contest. And Napoli's second goal was scored in the 79th minute by Rashmon Højlund.
Yeah, that's brace for him in this game. And I don't think there's any Manchester United striker that have scored 2 goals so far.
At the end of the day, will it be a big miss to Manchester United?
At the moment, it is, because you look at Manchester United, they are looking for goal scorers. They struggle.
But
to
they
get goals.
got themselves Sheshko.
It's at the moment looking like Rasmus Højlund is even better than Šeško.
Okay, yes, and we're straight into the 84th minute of that game between Arsenal and Olympiacos. It's Arsenal 1, Olympiacos 0. It's a slim lead for the Gunners. Can they hang on for the next 6 minutes in regulation time? Barcelona will be preparing a substitution. Seems Eric Garcia has scooped an injury. That's why Andres Christensen is being prepared to be thrown into this air counter. The former Chelsea player who has turned into a squad player for at Barcelona. Eric Garcia is down injured. But he's back on his feet. I think he can walk himself out of this field. And it looks like, yes, Barcelona are interested in using the time-wasting tactics right now. Because the way it is, it looks like they want to waste some time against this PSG side and not concede any goal. It's 1 point is better than taking 0 points.
Wow. At home? Wow.
Okay. We're waiting to see if Olympiacos will be getting the equalizer. I sent all the games today into 1.5 go as it is being called. And beautiful chance there for Olympiacos, and beautiful save from David Raya. He has been the
I think he should be the man of the match.
Yeah, he deserves the man of the match. Should Arsenal end up winning this game 1-0. Olympiacos will be preparing 3 substitutions right there at the 86th minute. For the next 4 minutes, there's the players will be coming out to attack. A beautiful piece of attack there from PSG, but Szczesny, with his experience, won't allow Nuno Mendes get a goal over him in this game. Nuno Mendes also should be doing better here. Look at him; he was free there. He had every time to pick up his header and pick his position. Right there, but PSG coming very close. Vitinha on the ball there, switches on to the wing, finds Hakimi. Hakimi will drop that to King Im in the box there, drops it and returns it back to Hakimi. Hakimi will favor a cross into the box there. Also, Szczesny to the rescue again for Barcelona at the 87th minute. We're straight into the 86th minute, and that's one between Arsenal and Olympiacos. It's still Arsenal with a slim lead over Olympiacos, but it's possible Arsenal take this away.
Yeah, it's still possible, but uh, that's not just like I said earlier on. If you can't get the second goal, try and defend the goal. And one thing Arsenal have mastered in the last 2 3 seasons, the art of defending, not conceding too many goals. But I think they should be able to defend this one away from Olympiacos.
Okay, let's see if they can defend that against Olympiacos. We also have to give it to them in this game. They've held their own against Arsenal.
Yeah.
The adversary teams control games against the Gunners like this. Olympiacos in possession. Arsenal regains possession. Finds Berechese, who comes deep to win the ball. The striker there, Gyökeres. You talked about Šeško, but Manchester United should be worried about Šeško. Don't you think Arsenal should also be worried about Victor Gyökeres?
I think we talked about him, earlier in the first half. His older play, he has
Well, as
contributed.
Manchester United can also talk about the older player of Benjamin Šeško.
Well, they can continue to talk about him in the 14th position on the log.
Okay, yes, but still early stages, early days in the league. Manchester United might can also still finish above Arsenal on the table come end of the season. Long one here from Olympiacos, who are looking to
joke
chase
of
on
the
this game
century.
into the dying embers of this game. A long cross, but Arsenal will clear their line halfway into the part of Olympiacos. Olympiacos are still trading it and sends it into the box there with a beat. But no, straight into the hands of the goalkeeper, David Raya. Here's a PSG attacking against Barcelona for set up a 3 against 2 situation. Into the box there with this great chance, no. But still into the box and cross with that beat. Barcelona clears the lines against against PSG. But still PSG coming forward against Barcelona. What a chance, what a moment in this dying embers of this game. 89 minutes gone in that center, 88 minutes gone. That's one between Arsenal and Olympiacos. David Raya should be the man of the match in this game should it end this way.
Yeah, and that could have been an own goal. I think two Arsenal players heading the ball, against each other. And
Is there a VR check on that penalty, potential penalty? Let's see. We have the second goal, the equalizer goal in that one between Villarreal and Juventus. Is Villarreal with a second goal in that encounter? As it stands, it's Villarreal 2, Juventus 2. Okay, let's see that again. Is there an amber or his hand was out of position? But let's see what VR thinks of that. Yes, it's not a penalty. Check completed, and you can see the Arsenal fans also praying here in the studio that they don't concede 9 minutes ago. It's 9 minutes gone in that encounter. 90th minute on the mark in that one between Barcelona and PSG. Both goals scored in the first half. Ferran Torres in the 90th minute, Mayulu in the 38th minute for PSG's equalizer. Ever since then, none of the two sides could hit each other at the back. They came very close to getting goals, but unfortunately they couldn't put it in the back of the net. We're straight into the 90th minute also in that one between Arsenal and Olympiacos. Olympiacos have really puffed hard in this game, but unfortunately for them also they couldn't put it in the back of the net legitimately because they put one into the back of the net through the striker Kebi, but unfortunately referee judged that to be an offside. A long one there from David Raya into the Olympiacos half rather. Lost possession. Olympiacos back in possession. Kebi drops it straight into the path of his teammates. Yeah, he's Olympiacos attacking. Would this be the moment for that equalizer? What a beautiful save there to deny Olympiacos from the Arsenal defender William Saliba right there. If I'm not mistaken, got onto the end of that. Yeah, he's back in possession. It's a free yellow card. And we have a PSG getting the second goal in that encounter against Barcelona. What a way to get a deserved second goal. It's PSG 2, Barcelona 1 in the encounter. It took them overnight, said, oh, offside might just, let's see that if that's not going to be chalked up for offside. But it's PSG putting that into the back of the net.
Yeah, we just have to, wait for
Hakimi with the assist again. And also Gonzalo Ramos putting that in the back of the net.
Yeah, and Barcelona trying
There's
to.
nothing the goalkeeper could do there. There's nothing he could do there. But let's see if VR we allow that to count as a goal for PSG. Yeah, it's Olympiacos attacking against Arsenal in the dying embers. We have 5 more minutes to play in that game as the referee, as the fourth official rather, has added 5 minutes in the additional time. Arsenal come forward there. Bukayo Saka drops it into the middle of the park. It's check over and it stands a goal for PSG. It's PSG with a late up goal in that encounter to lead on Barcelona 2-1 in this game.
and that's a very very disappointing. Not just embarrassing. It will be an embarrassing defeat for Barcelona because
And it's not going to be embarrassing. Anybody can
it
be
is.
anybody can be beaten at home. That is, it's a game of football. He has a chance for Arsenal. Bukayo Saka with the ball there, but not find himself in his favorite position. Yellow card to Lamine Yamal, who hasn't had a good day at office. Playing against. Yes, Arsenal again, and that is the second goal.
Bukayo Saka.
Finally, we have Bukayo Saka who came off the
Bukayo
bench for the
Saka.
Gunners. And he just sealed down the victory for Arsenal. 2-0 the lead against Olympiacos. The goalkeeper will actually feel undone with with the 2 goals. Because he'll feel like, yes, he should have done better in the process of the 2 goals. And we also have AS Monaco, who has equalized against Manchester City. Eric Diaz on 90th minute of penalty has just reduced the chances of Manchester City getting the 3 points in that game to 1 point in that encounter. Arsenal 2, Olympiacos 0, AS Monaco 2, Manchester City 2, Barcelona trailing 2-1 at home against PSG, Leverkusen 1, and PSV 1. We also have Napoli 2, Napoli 2, Sporting Lisbon 1, and also Villarreal 2, Juventus 2 as it stands.
Yeah, and what to mention that the man that got the second goal for the equalizing goal for Villarreal is the former Chelsea player Renato Vega.
Yeah, good one, fine.
Actually got the goal for them, and Manchester City couldn't hold on to the lead against Monaco. They still have about 2-3 minutes left to play, but Eric Dyer getting one against Manchester City.
Oh yes, Olympiacos coming forward and looking to see if they can reduce the deficit in this encounter. We are straight into the 3rd minute of 5-minute additional time. Also into the 3rd minute of 3-minute additional time. That's one between Barcelona and PSG. Gonzalo Ramos with 2 goals already in the UEFA Champions League, even when not starting for this PSG side.
Yeah, and it shows how good Paris Saint-Germain have also the quality, players that can come in and, get the goals. And like I was saying earlier on, I'm very disappointed in Barcelona not taking advantage of, this injury situation at PSG, and, it brings me back to what you said earlier on that, many people were thinking this could have been the final, of the Champions League. Now, look at it now. That means if it were to be the final, this is how Paris Saint-Germain.
Momentum were actually different.
Momentum were different, but
Barcelona last season were actually one of the very best sides in the UEFA Champions League. This final whistle in that game between PSG and Barcelona is PSG with the bragging rights and getting a 2-1 victory over Barcelona. They had to dig deep into the dying embers, and Gonzalo Ramos putting that into the back of the net. 2-1, they defeated Barcelona. We're also straight into the 5th minute of that one between Arsenal and Olympiacos. Arsenal 2, Olympiacos 0 as it stands right now.
Yeah. And any moment from now, the referee will also be calling that Saints all over. And Arsenal can still add one more goal in the late this time moment.
Let's see if the Arsenal can get one more goal in the dying embers of this encounter. We have Olympiacos coming forward. They've actually offed in this game, and I think they actually deserve one goal in this encounter with how they've taken the game to Arsenal. But they'll take this as a good loss. Looking forward to going forward into the other games in the UEFA Champions League. They still have about 5 or 6 more games to play to also stand a chance of making it through to the next round of the Champions League. Long one there from Olympiacos. Last minute of additional time. Will it be a chance for them to reduce the deficits, or will it be final whistle by the referee? Throw in there for Arsenal against Olympiacos. And as here we have it, is the final whistle in that encounter. And Arsenal has just won this 2-0, scoring with the first goal in the 12th minute and also scoring the second goal in the additional time of this encounter. It ended Arsenal 2, Olympiacos 0. What a game of football. What a 90 minutes of football we've seen.
Yeah, 90 minutes of football across all center we've seen today, starting from the early kickoff to, these ones are just ended now. And, for Arsenal game, I expected us not to get all 3 points. I wasn't expecting to be this, a little bit difficult, in getting that, because the 3 points were all secured late. That was in the last minutes of the additional time. but overall, 3 point, 6 point, going higher in the log again.
Okay, finally, the logs is finally taking some shape as it stands right now. Very soon we'll be seeing the boys being they're separated from the men in the UEFA Champions League. What a match day 2 it has been in the UEFA Champions League. We come back to join you on Friday for more football action on Premier Sport Fan Center. Thanks for being with us for this game. As we leave out the studio, I say it's bye for now.